Alright, I'm Dustin.
I'm Brad.
I'm Tyler.
I'm Trey.
And this is Team Vapor Podcast. Alright, so let's start out. What did everybody catch this week?
Go ahead.
A whole bunch of Magikarp. Finally.
Yeah, same. I'm up to a little over 300 candy for it at this point.
I'm getting close to 200. We also caught some Dratini. That was pretty nice.
Caught some Dratini. I just today hatched a Ghastly egg, and now I have enough candy to get a Haunter.
Sweet.
I think it was Ty yesterday that actually got a Haunter. A
Yeah.
lot of my stuff was actually new at the river the other day. Everything from Slowpoke, Psyduck, Dratini. Even got the Ghastly there for the first time.
Yeah.
Unlike a lot of people, I'm happy with Bellsprouts, Weedles, and Caterpies I'm finding.
So I got my stuff.
Yeah, that's what happens when you don't live in the forest biome and you come to it.
Oh yeah, I mean I have tons of rock and fire types.
Yeah. So I remember when I told you about the Onyx, and you were like, "Oh, is that a big deal around here?"
Yeah.
I remember when I
big deal.
caught the Onyx yesterday, and I was like, "Oh, he's maxed out at 596."
Yeah, that's disappointing.
This guy sucks. But
Oh no, I was stoked. I have yet to even see an Onyx pop up on my map. My girlfriend hatches an amazing one.
Yeah.
I was like, really? Alright.
I got the Gyarados done this week, though. I got the Gyarados done. I got a Lapras.
Yeah.
And those are probably my two best catches.
How did the Gyarados turn out?
I powered him. He evolved into a 1900, and I powered him up to 2K. And he's been in the gym ever since, so I haven't touched
Nice.
him.
Yeah, say I was using the Poke Assistant CP calculator, and I want to max out a Magikarp before I evolve it.
Yep.
It's gonna take a little more candy, but it's gonna be worth it.
Oh yeah.
So we can get enough trips out to Humboldt.
Yeah, say they're out there right now, I believe.
Yes, you said Magikarp was freaking flying today.
Yeah.
It seems like the earlier the better for that though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Once the game turns night, those spawns out there go to
Yeah.
rats and
Yeah.
Pidgeys. So
Yeah. Also, I want to know what is up with my lures.
yeah, your lures suck.
They do. He threw down 2 or 3 in a row, and it was Rattatas and Pidgeys.
Yep.
I threw some down, and it was
Psyduck.
Magikarp, Psyduck, Slowpoke, Dratini.
Yep.
Yeah, I have the worst lures.
And it is not beyond the bugs in this game to just assume that your account is
Yeah,
screwed.
Totally screwed
Yep.
somehow.
I mean,
You're
I
gonna lose that day
think we
one, man.
would have to try it in a different location, but I would believe that.
Yeah, well, I mean, like at Highland, when I use a lure, all that shows up is Rattata Pidgey. Fine.
Yeah.
But when I'm at a lure all day, where other people's lures are bringing up Dratini and Magikarp, and the best thing mine will pop up is a Spearow. Something's going on.
a Spearow though, man. Hard to get much more worthless than a worthless Pokemon that evolves at 50 CP.
Yeah.
I don't have a
or candy.
hero, guys. I need that worthless candy.
Okay, well you can have some of mine. I'll trade you for Pidgeys all day.
No.
Like, I wish I could trade candies for something like dang.
Yeah.
I got these 500 Pidgey candies.
There's so many that I'm just like, I need like literally one candy, and it's just like, I'll give you 500 Pidgey candy. Take whatever you want.
Yep.
I'm just hoping, like, every day now, I just need to see one more Cubone, and I can get my Marowak.
I mean, honestly, I think the entire evolution experience system needs to be reevaluated.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll probably talk a little bit about that later.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was nice to see balancing with the battles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely something I want to dive into, especially when we talk about the patch note. I mean, we're getting to that soon, I
Yeah,
think, the
yeah.
patches, so I'll save it, but
Yeah. Well, I
Well,
mean,
patches and stealth patches.
Yep.
And it's all over. the
which
place.
apparently Niantic is famous for stealth patching games. 0 patch notes, use login one day, stuff's different. Have
well,
fun.
I mean,
They're
aside-
famous for a lot, and it's not all.
yeah, infamous might be a
Yeah,
better
yeah,
word.
I
Yeah.
would say
Yeah.
they're infamous for a lot.
Well, I mean, aside from, the general players complaining on social media and everything, they are getting a lot of monetary backlash, too. Because,
Yep.
of course, the stocks have dropped a lot. But on the other hand, people are finding that, for example, Google Play has a 48-hour refund policy.
iTunes,
And-
people are still getting their money back.
Yeah, people
Yeah.
are claiming that, well, these items that were purchased for tracking Pokemon, they're worthless now, and so everybody's just getting their money back like that.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Like, I'm
Good.
halfway tempted to test this just for...
Yeah, say, I don't know if it's been more than 48 hours since I got coins, but if so, I'd like to try and do that.
Well, and not only that, but I mean, a lot of people online have been pledging not to buy anything in the game until the
Yeah.
game gets
Yep.
fixed.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, honestly, it's turned into, let's sit here at the lure and wait.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
no
Yeah,
point to the game anymore.
Yeah.
First week, this game was awesome. It got us out. It got us walking. Me less than you guys. I mean, I live in
Yeah.
Arizona and it's 114 degrees.
Right.
I'm not going
Well,
out until it gets
I
dark.
mean,
Yeah.
even the really, really crappy release servers going down every 10 seconds, the fact players were fighting through that was the perfect opportunity for them to capitalize.
Yeah.
And
Well, and I saw somebody post on Reddit last night, and I couldn't agree with it more. This game was funner when it was down 90% of the time, and the tracking actually worked that other 10%.
Right.
Well, the first week felt like a beta test, just because the game felt unfinished, but it felt like beta testing a good game.
Yeah.
And instead of
Now it feels like alpha testing something that's very incomplete.
Correct.
Well, and I mean, on that note, it's interesting that on the Apple Store, it's version 1.1.0.
Okay.
While on Android, I believe it's
0.31.
version 0.31.0.
I thought it was 0.39.0.
No, I believe it's still 0.31.
Well, the point is it's 0
Yeah,
point
zero
something.
point something.
Yeah, which is usually a pre-release number for a game time. So
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything you
I
can
don't. I
actually
don't know
read
if there's
into that.
different regulations when it comes to
I don't think there's
Apple
any
and Android.
regulations.
I think Apple has it to where you can't release until it's a 1.0.
Yeah, because
Maybe.
I know the Apple App Store has some regulations.
Okay.
It's got to do with the security.
I don't know why they
for
wouldn't
iOS.
just have the same number on both for convenience sake. You know, just like
Well, it's possible that they've been developed differently.
Yeah.
well, no, they
Well, I
definitely
mean,
have been
and
because
so,
on
I
the
mean, they
Apple
could-
version you can't have power saver anymore.
Yeah, they could be different
Yeah.
versions in that aspect.
True.
So, which, I don't know, the power saver being gone, it doesn't bug me too much.
Right.
The main thing I used it for was, it was nice to be able to put it in my pocket and not accidentally press something.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, for bike rides, that was great. You
Yeah.
know, I'd go out on my bike, I'd just put it in my pocket and I'd have a headphone in, so I knew if something showed up.
Yep.
I'd say across 2 different brands of phones and 2 different services, mine would always try and crash on me if I did that too much.
Well, mine would have problems where if I accidentally shut my phone,
Yeah.
it wouldn't go out of power saver unless I turned the phone upside down. I don't know if that's a thing that's exclusive to Apple, and that's why they turned it off. But I do hear with the patch, and I mean we're getting closer to the patch notes, that battery life has been extended.
Yeah.
Well, I still got battery saver here on Android.
Well, and like of all the features that I would not care went away for a while, battery savers. I mean, that doesn't actually affect when you're actually playing the game. Battery saver has very little effect on that. So I'm down with if you need to shut a feature down to make this game playable, battery saver. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should we transition?
Yeah, we can go ahead.
Yeah. So I think on that note, actually, we should talk about patch.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So the first thing for sure is the removal of the 3 footprints.
Yep.
I think the thing that bugs me the most is it's not a removal of the 3 footprints. You know, that doesn't bug me. It's the fact that they removed it, and the nearby is still inaccurate. You know, I would have been fine if they removed it, and the top left was still the closest.
Yeah.
However, it's not the case. They removed it and they didn't change anything. And I would just really like to hear what their plan is on that.
Well, and not only that, but they removed it at the same time they took down Pokevision and Pokeware, which, yeah, it's cheating for sure, but cheating was the only way to find anything.
Well, I mean, the only excuse they gave us was, oh, well, your tracking system is why we keep crashing so much.
Well, and I mean,
Well, and I don't-
there is some truth to that.
Yeah.
In the first 6 days of Pokevision, they had 16 million users use that site.
Oh, yeah. But still, it's just the simple fact that that's really the only information that we've gotten for anything. I mean, yeah, we're going to stealth patch the game and just let you figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, and like, and I
And
think
now they're catching it for it.
Pokevision was doomed from the minute it came up because you can look in the EULA,
for
it
sure.
says don't do this, but everybody was able to justify it because tracking didn't work.
Yep.
And so they really kind of drug their feet with whatever cease and desist or whatever they sent to Pokevision. But the problem is, fix your tracking.
Yeah.
You know, we all loved playing this game when we could be like 1 footstep, 0 footsteps. Okay, it's here, and you could click on it, and then it would, you know, focus in on that Pokemon.
Yeah, say that was like some of the funnest moments as we'd all be at the park, and it's like there's a Snorlax nearby, everybody fan out.
Because I hate the things I hate. I hated as many things about Pokevision, more things than I liked about it.
Yeah.
I hated sitting somewhere and being like, "There's a Snorlax 2.5 miles that way, and we got 8 minutes to get there,"
Yeah.
and then everybody disperse.
Well,
Well,
I will say a certain aspect of that was fun, where it was kind of like a race, because it's like, all right,
Okay.
guys, we got 3 minutes to get this.
Well,
Let's go.
And to be
Yeah.
honest, that's a complaint I hear a lot about Pokevision is it ruins the game because too many people are just sitting in their houses waiting for something nice to show up. this game was great because you were walking around
Yep.
and you just happened to find something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Now that's all it is.
I did get tired of seeing the association page just flooded
Yeah.
with freaking images of
Yeah,
Pokemon.
it was getting out of control.
I mean, I'm sorry, if there's 5 minutes and on the other side of town, I don't care.
Well, and I'm not going to see that until it's gone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, and I noticed towards the end of it anyways, it was horribly inaccurate with the times and locations anyways. I'd get there and find the Pokemon weren't even there to begin with.
Well, I mean, even from the beginning, I know, because there was one time there was a Snorlax on my nearby, and I was trying to find it, just scanning over and over. I ended up like 4 blocks in the opposite direction of where it actually was before it actually showed up on Pokevision. Then I had like 4 minutes left to get it. I was barefoot because I had just stepped outside my house to catch a Bellsprout.
Yeah, I mean, one of the most significant things to me, and also kind of personally, is that, I mean, me and a lot of people I know, we don't leave the house. We're hermits. We left the house for this
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and now it's just to the point where I don't even really want to play.
Yeah, and I mean, it was you left the house to look for something. Now it's
Exactly.
you leave the house to walk around or sit at a lure
And hope you got something
and
pops
hope
up.
something pops up.
Yeah.
You know, with the nearby being so inaccurate, you walk around and maybe you run into something. Most likely, it's going to be a Rattata or a Pidgey.
Well, I mean, granted, I do to an extent like the randomized spawn nests now. Even then, that still kind of kills because, okay, we relied on guaranteed spawns to bypass this whole tracking crap.
Yeah.
Now that we don't have that, it's going to be hit or miss whether or not we get anything worth a crap that day.
Well, and even places that did have that, like I'm from Phoenix,
Yeah.
all of them changed to something different. We
Well,
had a great Dratini farm.
Well, I know
now
that
I think
they,
it spawns.
I think it's an Eevee farm now.
Yeah, I think it spawns Eevees.
well,
Which is just-
Welcome to the
Yeah,
old meta.
that's just a giant slap
Yeah,
on the
it
face, too.
Now that Dragonites don't suck and EVs are slightly more balanced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I will say Eevees still make up a great majority of my battle teams.
Sure.
Especially
many.
since I don't know what it is lately. The game just loves giving me Jolteons lately.
Well, and to be honest, Eevee is a good Pokemon in the sense that it only takes 25 candies
Yeah.
Yep.
and can evolve into
25
something
candies
really good.
and you get something that's battle worthy.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, in the beginning, that was the Pokemon.
Yeah.
I mean, you had Eevees, you were the leader.
You could 1v5 a gym with a 2k Vaporeon
Oh,
3
yeah.
days ago.
Heck, I took a Vaporeon, it was 300-500 levels underneath everything else.
Yeah.
Everything's dead.
Oh yeah,
Water
so
gun, water
there
gun.
were several times I would take on a gym with like 1500s in it with a 900 Vaporeon.
And I mean, this is bound to happen, though. I mean, every
Yeah.
new game, the meta changes.
Yeah.
They figure out what's wrong with it
Yeah.
and they balance it.
I mean, I do appreciate that balance because what bugged me was having a stupidly powerful grass type. Alright, I'm gonna get this water gym. Nope.
Yeah.
Well, and what bugged me was seeing a level 6 gym with 6 Vaporeons.
Yeah, stupid.
That you couldn't take down with a Jolteon that was stronger than any
Yep.
of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I think they need to raise the rate of evolutions for Jolteon because I've evolved to CP 700 EV, gotten like an 1800 Vaporeon, evolve a 700 EV to get a Jolteon, and it'll be like 1390 max.
Yep.
I did a 6 and then it was 11, maybe?
Yeah.
So there are like two things to think about that. One, CP is not an actual combat stat. It is a kind of a score. Like it factors in attack, defense, agility. I think agility is the third one. No, stamina. Attack, defense, stamina, and HP. And so the thing that why Vaporeons are so wet because okay, Eevee evolves out of the same Eevee, right? And they all have the same attack, defense, and stamina. Vaporeons, for some reason, when you evolve Vaporeon, it gets like plus 70 HP over everything else. And so that takes its CP and just shoots it to plus 500 what
Yeah,
a
that's
Jolteon.
another thing about the Vaporeon is they have a ton more health than Flareon or Jolteon.
They have Snorlax
Yeah.
level health.
Yeah.
Even in the
which
beginning, a
is-
Flareon was completely worthless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it was Jolteon that was completely worthless. Flareon was half useful.
Well, and Jolteon is meta-wise theoretically should be good. It's got a fast attack.
Yeah.
The problem is it just wasn't effective.
It's good now.
Yeah.
Thunder is an
Yeah.
incredible move.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And yeah.
Oh, mine has discharge. I got screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah, discharge is not very good.
Yeah, you charge up Thunder in about 5 seconds
Yeah,
with one-shot stuff.
It'll
so-
wipe out
yeah.
another Jolteon
Yeah.
easily.
I just love my Solar Beam Parasect right now.
Yep.
Like,
Solar
alright.
Beam is
Yeah,
Come on,
good.
Vaporeon.
that is one thing I really liked about the balancing now is anything with Solar Beam is just great for
Yeah.
taking down
Well, see,
a gym.
and so that's where because there's a lot of negativity surrounding this patch, and what you don't see right now, like positive comebacks to that. Well, here's one. I played today all day, and I've had more fun playing the game today than I have in a week. Because this last week, what have I done? I've sat at lure parties looked at Pokevision, and I've got a hell of a lot of experience. I've probably gotten 500,000 experience this last week.
Yeah.
But it, like, I wasn't having fun. I was sitting down on the pavement at the college, surrounded by 3 lures, and occasionally being like, oh, there's a Chansey that over in that part of town, get in my car and drive off.
It just wasn't really earned or satisfying.
It wasn't.
Didn't fulfill anything.
No. And so, like, today...
And on that note,
Go ahead.
though, what are all our levels? Because I know I'm 18. I'm about to be 19 very soon.
I'm level 25, about halfway through.
Okay.
27.
22 yesterday.
And see, as a lower level player, I'm not having much fun, you
Yeah,
know,
sure.
because I can't find Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I need to do at this point, is I need to find Pokemon and I need to strengthen my team. I've fought gyms, and now they are fun,
Yep.
but they're hard at
yeah.
my level.
Yeah.
So
Well, and they've just become a lot harder in general. Because
Yeah.
the other night after the stealth patch, I went out to fight some gyms just to see what it was like. It was a whole new ball game.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, and I've held a similar opinion to Trey forever now. It just seems like gyms were way too much of a focus, and they couldn't stand up to the, the intended popularity.
Yeah, well, especially with such a simplistic battle
And it just kind of devolved, really.
Yeah.
well, and I mean, you're supposed to be able to team up gyms. Has anybody done
can.
that
Yep.
successfully?
you can,
I
yeah,
do, all
a
the
couple times.
Okay.
You,
I mean, it's really not the most accurate thing, because a lot of the times there's still... The battle seems separated between players sometimes.
Yeah.
It's not really
The thing is,
synchronized.
I don't agree with being able to tag team a gym because they're already too easy to take down anyways.
I mean, I like the whole concept
Well,
of
I-
double battles from back in the day, but here it just seems like really unfair.
Yeah, it's
Well,
like...
I like it in the sense of you have 2 lower level players
Yeah.
like myself. You know, I fought a gym and I had to fight it probably 15 to 20 times to level it up once so I could put a Pokemon on it.
So here, I'll touch on that. Figured out today. I was experimenting today a lot. You're talking about powering up a gym. So, like, I'm blue team. I think we're all blue team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I walked up to a gym today, my girlfriend and I, and we were like, we need to get this gym leveled up 4,000 points to get our 2 Pokemon in there. First thing in the gym was like a 1K Vaporeon, let's say, right? And I was like, okay, I'm going to try something. And I pulled out a 499 Bellsprout. I killed that Vaporeon and got 950 prestige towards leveling up the gym.
Nice.
So if you beat it with something that is lower CP than it, minimum you get 500 prestige for that win. And it goes
Nice.
all the way up to 1,000.
I was
So-
getting used to seeing only 300 something.
Yeah, well, which, like, I didn't. Then to further that experiment, I pulled out my 2600 Dragonite and I beat all 3 things in the gym, and I got 350. And I was like, it is actually better for me to use my Bellsprout that is under half the level of this Vaporeon. You know, you have to dodge. Like, if it got water gun off and hit me, I was dead.
Yeah.
But I could just Vine Whip it over and over again, or Razor Leaf, or whatever I was using, and I could beat it. Like, it was possible to outplay the gym, because the gym mechanics, like, the AI is pretty simplistic.
Yeah.
It sits there and uses its special move a bunch.
Tells you what it's doing.
It does. And then
It
you
does.
get
Well,
to,
and that's nice when it comes to dodging, because I know a lot of people that don't dodge just because half the time it'll hit.
Yeah.
right. And like, you guys don't know the mechanic to that. There's like, let's say there's a 1,000 millisecond window, right? Okay, at 200 milliseconds, you will see the yellow flash. Like, your screen flashes yellow real quick. Okay, they're initiating the attack. Then every attack has an attack time, like a delay. So let's say water gun is 300. So at 200, it tells you it's going to attack. 300 milliseconds later, it starts the attack, and then there's a damage time. Let's say the damage time on water gun is 300 milliseconds. So its damage is applied over 300 milliseconds. So when you dodge, if you let's say dodge has a duration, it says on Reddit somewhere, like let's say 400. So it's possible to dodge the whole damage. If you dodge right before it shoots, you will jump the whole thing. If you dodge early, you'll kind of start taking damage in the middle, take however much you're in for. So you
Okay.
can dodge most or all of it,
Okay.
but it's based on learning the attack speeds of the special attacks that you're
Okay,
fighting.
that makes sense, because
Yeah.
the other day I was fighting a gym and a Snorlax used Earthquake, and I barely took any damage from it dodging, so...
Yep.
And
I
I was
would
trying to figure
say-
out why that happened.
Yeah, it is.
I would say an attack that sucks to fight against is Ice Beam.
Yes!
'Cause if you get-
wrecks my face!
If you get caught in that at all, you are stuck there. There
Yep.
is
Yep.
no dodging that.
I
Game
love it.
over.
Yeah.
I forgot what it was, actually, but I just evolved something that had Ice Beam. I saw that, and I was like, yes!
Yeah, Ice Beam
What
destroys
What was it? Your
me.
Slowbro.
I want to see a Dugong.
I think it was my
Yeah,
Slowbro.
Slowbro.
Dude, see what?
I want
Yeah.
to see a Dugong with a nice move.
Oh, I'm so good. I need one more seal and I have Dugong, so I'm like,
Oh, I got my first shelter today out of an egg.
nice.
But yeah,
Cloyster
my
would be nice.
Slowbro has
Yes.
Ice Beam.
Well, we were fighting today, and my girlfriend has Cloyster, and it recommended she use Cloyster, and I was like, hold on. Really? Do it. That's awesome.
Nice.
On another note, though, with all of us being blue, we can actually wear blue on our characters now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did that.
Yeah,
Change that.
yeah.
I mean, if we
Best
want to
update,
toss
10
it
out of 10.
in,
No
I do
kidding.
like the little bit of customization we got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I had to admit I couldn't go all blue, man. I'm pulling too much Eiffel there.
I don't know. I really like my my new lime green shoes.
Yeah, I'm rocking the lime green shoes too. Yeah.
I do
great.
think there should be some unlocks. You know,
Uh-huh.
we earn medals all the time by doing things.
Right.
For instance, I have a lot of fire Pokemon and rock and ground. You know, I'm from Arizona. I should get some different clothes for that. You know, bug types, you should get something.
Yeah.
You know,
Can
and
I just say I
walking
have
so
red
far.
for walking all over Valor?
Yeah, so do I. No team hate, but yes, that's
Yeah.
So
a little bit of green.
I said this as a joke originally, but I would seriously rock it if I got it. I walked the 100 kilometers. I want booty shorts for it.
Mystic.
Yeah, I want Mystic booty shorts.
I don't know, they got a lot of merch out now, man. You might just have to look around.
Yeah.
See, what they're gonna if this game ends up like if they don't fix the problems and this game tanks, so many companies have all in on this game being a huge hit
Yeah.
forever.
They have.
Like, ooh.
Well, and you know, the sad thing about if this game tanks is it's already brought business to a lot of small
Yes.
companies, even.
Mhm.
You know, there were Mill Ave, which is by ASU.
Mhm.
A lot of the bars have lures near them and stuff. They would be tossing lures
Yeah.
on those and bringing people in, and they'd have Pokemon special drinks and stuff.
Yep.
You know, there were 21 and up singles events for Pokemon. Did you ever think you would hear that in your life?
There was a like pet sanctuary place that was like, hey, come walk a dog for a day.
Yeah, I
And
shared that on Facebook.
Yeah, they like ran out of dogs.
They
Yeah.
ran out of dogs.
Like-
They had 3 occurrences of people calling and saying,
Not bringing it on.
"Yeah, I'm not bringing this dog back.
That's
I
what
never,
they want.
I never thought I'd like a dog, but
Yeah.
this dog and I connected."
Well,
It's
and
done
like,
an insane amount of good.
yeah, and the thing is, like, even if this game tanks, you know, augmented reality games, this is Gen 1.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody say Ingress was Gen 1? And, like, Ingress is Alpha.
Yeah.
Like, this is Gen 1.
Ingress was the alpha.
Yeah.
And I've already seen some ads for some AR games that look pretty neat. I
Okay.
saw one, I believe it was Father.io, and it was a AR shooter.
Nice.
Well, and you know the
Oh my
interesting thing
God.
is,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That,
Ingress
that
is
would be
still being
interesting.
played.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, I loaded the game up on my phone probably halfway through the Pokemon craze, and there were actually still a few people in Chanute and Humboldt playing.
Yeah.
I took over half the town and freaked the guy out.
Nice.
Nice.
Like, I was getting email updates out the butt the next day because, like, guy was attacking everything.
Sure.
I'm like, okay, there are still active players. Right on.
What do we
That's odd. I don't know, I was seeing a picture of eggs and incubators.
got?
with
Oh,
mice.
yeah. The
Niantic's next update, they fix eggs.
Yeah.
Remove the distance.
All right.
God.
I mean,
No, thank you.
No, I like getting that timer on it because playing the old games, it's like, all right, how many more times do I got to run this bike road?
Mm-hmm.
Which,
So-
speaking of old
okay.
games,
Okay.
what is something you guys would want them to update that would kind of be from the old games? Or from the handheld games?
Weakening the Pokemon before you throw the ball at it with
Yeah,
your own Pokemon.
I agree.
Yeah.
Even if it was Safari Zone style,
Oh,
throw
yeah.
a rock at it.
I don't care.
I was about to say, like, I'm just going to roll with what he said. I want to see some more Safari style in the capture system because right now, all right, we got us a Pidgey 50 balls later.
Yeah.
Sitting there swiping.
Well, one thing I want to see, not necessarily from the game, but sort of from the game, because it's logically it makes sense. It should not be harder to catch the Pokemon the higher I level up. It should be easier.
I want a
Right.
proper real-time weather system in place.
Mm-hmm.
That would be neat. That'd be
That would be neat.
I mean, because they should be able to pull that from Google just fine.
Yeah, like if
What I
it's,
would want-
if it's raining in real life, it's raining in game, and water types are more common, something
Yeah.
like that.
I think I would want
Hot-
tall grass.
Hot and dry.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
You go somewhere and Pokemon are more likely to spawn.
Well-
They could easily do that at parks.
Well, and they
Yeah.
essentially had that in the beta.
yeah.
Because in the beta they had the spawn puddles.
Well, I mean, and considering, you know, a lot of the nests are around Pokestops and everything, I think that a number of the Pokestops should influence what's around them in that, okay, we have power stations that count as stops in certain places. We have graveyards that count as stops. You know, let's see some geographically accurate Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I'll tell you what, the something I like to put in the game too, actually track where my avatar is going instead of this like every 4 minutes doing a point. Like let's say you walk around a block.
Yeah.
If you get pinged here and then your next ping is here, even though you walked 3/4 of the block, you get this much distance on
They
your
got
leg.
such a slow ping.
And it is. It's
Yeah,
ridiculously slow.
Well, and I don't know. I'd like to see that get quicker. Maybe once it's released to everyone and they stabilize servers more, they could ping the servers more. My guess is it's a usage thing. You know, they
Sure.
don't want their servers to get overrun by so many pings.
Which is why they took tracking out of the game.
Yeah,
Because
it does make sense.
Yeah, a lot of people think tracking's broke. I don't personally.
No, it's removed.
They turned it
They
off.
turned it off. Absolutely,
Yeah.
they turned it
They
off.
turned it off the 15th. You know,
Yeah.
that was the day. Which the 14th was Pokemon Go's peak time.
Yep.
That's when it had the most users, and since then it's dropped.
Yeah.
It's dropped steadily.
To be fair, every single game does that. Like, a game will release, especially if there's hype around the game, like it's a Pokemon game, or it's EverQuest 2, or something like that. Like, everybody jumps in, and then, like, casual players quit playing. That's why they're casual players.
Yeah.
You know, so you do get, there's going to be a peak, and then there's going to be an actual player base level that is below the peak.
Yep.
And so, I feel like they're forcing that actual player base level down. Like, four of us in this room, we would all have played this game no matter what.
They're
There's-
alienating hardcore players.
Yeah, they are. And, like, I feel like maybe in a month, one or two of us might not play this game anymore if they don't fix some of the things we're talking about.
And I don't want to see it cater to the hardcore.
No.
But, I want them to see address everybody's issue too.
Well, and I feel like balancing the gyms did cater to the hardcore players, because now I can throw some of my strong Pokemon in there and I'll see it hold it. I've held gyms for weeks.
Yeah.
And, like, that didn't happen.
Well, I mean, I
before.
definitely want to see
Yeah.
really high level Pokemon be a pain in the butt to defeat. But not on the terms where it's going to take a team, a week or two to be able to get this thing down.
Sure.
Well, and I mean, what about when legendaries come out?
I know.
You know, I mean, are you gonna have to go with that with the legendary?
There's going to eventually be a nerf patch on that one.
Oh,
Yeah. See, an issue I have in regards to the hardcore players, it seems like they're actually a very anti-hardcore player, because the higher you level, the harder the game
And
gets.
that's
yeah, and
That's-
that's a thing that in the Game Boy games, if you had a level 100 Pokemon out, and say you were against a level 35, you could throw a Pokeball without even hurting it.
yeah.
Yeah.
You were more likely to catch it because your Pokemon was stronger.
Mhm.
It should be more like that. You have a higher level, that 10 CP Pidgey should not be able to get away
Not
from
only should that 10 CP Pidgey not be able to get away, I should be able to hand that Pidgey the ball and
Yeah.
say, get in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, like I said, we went over the whole concept of redoing battle and everything and capturing Pokemon. Eventually, I see no reason why, okay, I have my team of 6 Pokemon I can battle gyms, why can't I battle the Pokemon I found next door?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why can't I battle wild Pokemon?
Granted, I'd be happy with just a quick patch to toss rocks at the thing. Ultimately, I think that would be an awesome, final
Well,
product.
and on that note, I would like to be able to battle just to maybe have another way to strengthen your Pokemon, CP-wise.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a lot.
Yep.
You know, for each battle, depending on
'Cause-
the enemy's CP, it could be, I don't know, 2 maybe.
I feel like if I got a Pokemon
wouldn't-
defending a
Considering how
gym
many we see.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you
Yep.
have a Pokemon defending
and
a
it
gym,
beats other Pokemon, should it not
Yeah.
get experience
Yeah,
for that? Like,
what's
yeah.
the point of battles won? What's the
Defense
point of that
percentage.
stat?
yeah.
Yeah,
if it
because it's
doesn't
in the
do
game.
anything?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well, and especially with how hard it is to get Stardust. I mean, you spend the entire day catching 300 Pokemon, you get
Right.
20, 30k Stardust, and then you blow all that powering
Well,
up 1 or 2
I mean, in a
Pokemon.
way, much of this game, its mechanics, its stats, are really cosmetic. There's just really just superficial features that really haven't been explored or expanded on at all.
Yeah.
It's just, here's the basics, guys, see what you think.
Well, and I mean, they've even said the game is 10% of what they actually want
Right,
it to
And
be.
which is promising. That's
Yeah.
very
It's
promising.
promising, but what
It's
I'm worried
promising,
about...
but so far they've given us a lot of promises. And
Yeah.
I don't want to come at this critically. You know,
Yeah.
I really want to be optimistic for the game.
I'm finding it harder to be, though.
I'm finding it harder and harder, especially
patient.
especially with their lack of recognition and their lack of communication.
I guess, like, see, 4 days ago, I was right there because they had said nothing and done nothing. They've patched 3 or 4 times in the last 5 days. One was the stealth patch that put that nerf potion drops. Another one was a patch that changed the attack damages of all. It changed the abilities of the Pokemon. A nerf to Vaporeon, a buff to some
Well,
other
it was a nerf and a buff to Vaporeon, because if your
Your water
Vaporeon
gun
has,
is better.
No, if your Vaporeon has Hydro Pump, it went from
That's what I
60 to 90 damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they buffed every special move almost across the board.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Aquatail went from 50 to 45.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a nerf to
You
Vaporeon.
got
I'm
a
all
very
about.
small
Yeah.
nerf.
Anyway, Vaporeon isn't the god king of Persia anymore, and now we can like.
Don't need those 350
Yeah,
Spartans.
and then they did the patch that was yesterday where it actually had patch notes, and I was like, okay, there was 3 things that could have happened. One, they could have been like Riot Games or Blizzard, done patches with patch notes, had a PR person on Twitter. Yeah, they weren't going to do that. Like that was the ultimate. Like, oh my god, we hired a PR department. We're going to be transparent now.
Well, to be honest, they are looking for a global communications
global
liaison or
communications officer. Or
officer.
so
Something.
maybe they're moving in that
They are
direction.
looking for someone.
That would
but at
be
the same
great
time,
if they are.
how hard is it to tweet?
Yeah.
Well, I don't. Yeah, not that.
Yeah, so when
Not
you're
that
making
hard.
$10 million a day, you can hire somebody that knows how to use Twitter.
Yep.
Any college kid off the street would do that.
Yeah.
Say, I'll do
Yeah.
it.
No kidding. Like, just send me an email every
Yeah.
day. Tweet this.
Yeah,
I was
so
like,
I mean-
why did you take time to email me
Yeah.
this instead of tweeting it
Yeah,
yourself?
Just send me an email and $100 every day. I'm good.
Hell
Yeah.
to the yes.
Also, and don't worry, I'll spend at least 20 of it on Pokecoins.
You can send me $20 in Pokecoins every day and I do that.
Yeah,
job.
for real. It's like, all right, now I don't have to worry about spending my real money on
Yeah.
it. But no, like, that's the thing that worries me. It's like, yeah, it's promising that they say 90% of the game is still yet to come. My worry is that the game's going to be dead before that 90% comes.
That would be bad.
Well,
Yeah.
my concern is the game's mostly going to drop off before Gen 2 is
Yeah.
even in it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
they were killing it early.
Not only that, but there might not even be players by time the Plus device comes out.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, historically, mobile games do die off more quickly.
They do, but at the same time,
do, but
this was
the biggest
used
one.
more than Twitter.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what kind of gets us. Like, I really don't want this to succumb
Yeah,
to every other
and-
game.
Does the
and
fact that
that-
it's the biggest mean it drops off more? I mean, maybe,
I don't know, because
but
it's just like maddening that something that became more popular than
I mean,
Twitter fucked it up.
Let's
in
be
less than a
honest
month.
here. If this wasn't Pokemon, Niantic would have tanked Infinity.
Oh yeah, no,
Oh, yeah.
this would
Like,
not be going.
Pokemon's
still
the
if it
only
didn't have
thing
the
that
Pokemon name
that's the only reason it's still here.
Yep.
for sure.
I mean, and even then, that's not going to save him for that long.
It's already failing to do so at this point. I've seen a lot of people saying "fuck this shit" on Reddit.
Yeah.
Now, I have a question, because I haven't fought a gym since the patch.
Mhm.
Alright, so the patch notes say there's refined certain gym animations. Do you know what those are?
It's when you beat the gym, you instead of just giving you like a bunch of it's like gym, and then it shows you it's like let's say the gym was 5,500 prestige, then you beat the gym and it's like 4,200 prestige, and then it says you got some experience, whatever. All it is, you beat the gym, you actually see the experience bar on the circle spin. It tells you the numbers are like. It's more friendly of a presentation. Like you
Okay.
took this much prestige off.
so
it's
so it's not
just
battle animation.
no, it's not battle animation. It's actual gym animation.
Which,
Yeah.
did they
Metropolitan.
change any battle animations or
I haven't
Pokemon
seen any
animations?
changes.
I've noticed very minor changes in animation to some of the captured Pokemon. I mean, like, say one jumps and comes back down, there's more of, a flurry.
Yeah, definitely.
No, okay, yeah.
I mean,
have
just there's little
noticed
simple
that.
things like that I've noticed, but that's really
Yeah,
about
but
it.
I've noticed some the movements a little more fluid,
Yeah, everything seems a lot more polished. I'd even say maybe a little bit higher res, honestly.
and also the
That's true.
Pokeball
The
for sure.
Pokeball.
the Pokeballs now look
straight
like
out of
they-
the 3DS.
Yeah, straight out
Well,
of 3DS.
I mean,
games
granted,
now.
I'm running an AMOLED screen, full HD with my phone. It still looked really jaggedy with the character on screen, per se. And then after that, I noticed it was a lot more smooth, a lot cleaner animation.
If anything, I'll say now that they went to the bolder text,
Mm.
the text is more pixelated on my screen, and I have the newest iPhone.
I actually want to look at that. I haven't paid that much attention.
So if you're on a gym, the text behind them that says the trainer name and the Pokemon, I've noticed for me that's more blurred.
I mean, mine kind of has like a smoke effect to it, I suppose, but that's really about all I'm getting.
I don't think I really paid that much attention to it
Now-
now that I think about it.
Dustin, you probably have the oldest phone here. Have you ever had memory issues with the game?
Not really.
Because
I mean,
that's one of the patch notes is improved memory issues.
I've got the S4, which
I don't know if it's memory leaks, which is causing the phone to slow down.
Yeah. So I've got the S4, which it's older, but it's really good older, so it
Yeah.
still runs it.
I
Pretty
mean, I
well.
generally have a minimum half a gig of RAM free for the game to use, and
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't noticed any leaks or anything, and I run some of my dev options to keep track of crap.
I have seen some people play on phones with less than a gig of RAM though, and I do not see how they tolerate it. It's like they'll be throwing a Pokeball, and it'll just freeze on the screen, and they've got to wait about 15 seconds to see if it actually lands.
I've actually been rather impressed because I've seen some really crappy old phones handle this game pretty well.
Yeah,
I saw a photo on.
I mean, that's pretty much what I get for text.
Well, I mean, in the game.
Yeah, this is what you're talking about. Like, that's very crisp. That is
Yeah,
not.
That's
yeah.
not crisp.
Yeah.
The
that
text
is-
on gyms is not.
Yeah, no,
it's
you're
not
right.
very clear.
Yeah, it
I
does
mean,
look
that
like
looks
blurry.
great.
It's
like,
it's not a big deal. It's just
really minor.
Yeah.
But like, it is a.
Well, and
Yeah.
I mean, the last patch note is minor text fixes.
Right.
No, dude, that has become the biggest joke. on
Yes,
the
it is.
That's
subreddit.
almost like Minecraft. Every patch they release,
Herobrine.
hero brines removed.
Yep. Yeah, so
Never been in the game.
Nope.
Yeah,
Still
so
in the patch notes.
if you go to the Reddit right now, though, anytime, like, instead of edited, it's minor text fixes.
Yeah.
All right, so we've already talked patch note wise about removing footprints in
Yeah.
nearby Pokemon.
For a while.
Modified battle damage calculation. Now, is this type effectiveness, or is this the nerfs and buffs that various Pokemon have been getting? Because they've already, in the patch notes, said adjusted battle move damage values for some Pokemon.
Yeah, I think it's the IVs. I think it's your attack, defense, and stamina numbers actually maybe having... Like, take Sand Slash, for example, right? The dude has very low CP because he has low HP, but he has strong attacks, and he, in theory, before, had a strong defense.
And he's also supposed to be, what, the second fastest?
Yeah, he attacks like a...
Yeah.
Well, and, yeah, that's based off of your attack, too. Mudshot is a really quick attack. But now he actually takes less damage when he gets hit, which
Okay, so maybe he
I
has
think
a
they-
lower HP but higher defense.
higher defense. I think they made those, like the IVs, the attack and defense stat actually, the calculation changed where it actually factors in a little bit more. I think.
So maybe that's why Pokemon that you would think would have high CP, like Hitmonchan and Onix, have
Yep.
such low CP.
Because the HP
Yeah,
that factors
I mean,
in.
I hatched one from an egg and it was at 335.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
It's
it's,
pretty disappointing.
Yes.
I'm from Arizona; they're all over the place.
Yeah.
Well, they're more common.
Yeah.
Sure.
That was always been a big point for me because, like, when I hatched my Hitmonchan, I was thinking, okay, I've at least finally got something that I can speed with. No, Hitmonchan was one of the slowest things I had pre-patch.
Yep.
Like, there was no point using it even after buffing it up. It'd still get knocked out by anything.
definitely.
Because usually I had an average of 2 to 3 attacks versus my 1.
All right.
I noticed that with a lot of
And
Pokemon.
I haven't noticed this, but another one is various bug fixes during wild Pokemon encounter. Does that mean it runs away more? Because that's all I've noticed.
Yeah, I mean-
I've noticed more bugs while encountering
Yeah.
Pokemon.
I've thrown them through the Pokemon now.
Yeah,
I've thrown it through the Pokemon a couple
I
times.
hit one Pokemon with 5 curveballs.
Yeah. so
After that, I don't throw curveballs.
That was
for
that Pinsir we rode
Yeah.
yesterday. Yeah, I had the same thing. We had a Pinsir yesterday, and I just had curveballs kept going
It,
right
it would
through
hit it and bounce it. After the patch, I had one land on a Weedle and roll off its back.
Yeah,
I don't know how it balances on that horn.
yeah, but it did.
You could see it roll off the hitbox.
Hey, when you're born with it, you just get good with it.
That's right. You
I
just-
don't know, man. We had Psyducks balancing them on their bills all day. So.
Yeah, say that's
Yeah.
true.
Another one is updated Pokemon detail screens.
look.
Have
I
you
dug
noticed
through the
that?
Pokédex. I
If
dug through
anything,
basic
it
screens.
doesn't have the transfer button. It's got the button on the lower
Yeah,
right.
I think
Maybe
brings
that's
up
what they-
Yeah,
favorite
I think
and
that's
Yeah.
what I
transfer.
mean. And also, did they remove the map?
They didn't remove it. It still loads in, but it's just blank.
Okay.
Still.
Yeah, like I have not loaded a map in I don't know how
You
long.
can
It's just a
still
blank
you can
box.
still scroll down and it's got the blank box.
I know that it still worked a little bit after the 3-step glitch, but
Yeah.
it wasn't long.
It was
after that.
occasionally it would.
Yeah, it wasn't.
And I
long
wish
after
that map had some significance. Like, hey, I found this here. You know, kind of like the Pokedex in the games. Hey, I found this here. It must spawn there.
Yeah, and
you
like
know?
like pool all the data from the catches.
Yeah.
That way you can look and see like okay, like Oddish and Bulbasaur like.
Yeah, I wish the Pokedex was more of a Pokedex, and it would tell you, hey, this can be found in these kinds of areas.
It looks
I like that there's some variety and some occasional rare ones for whatever region you're in, but at the same time, I would like to see more, what's the word I'm looking for? Frequency of Pokemon that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know?
yeah.
Well, I mean, in a lot of the old cartridge games, I mean, they had a lot of cool options in like the Pokénaps and the Pokégear items that were given, and a lot of those I think could be adapted to Pokemon Go to definitely help. Because I mean, they had a lot of really good simple tracking systems from even items, you know, and we're sitting here with nothing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, come on, the Game Boy's rocking it. Why can't we?
Does anyone know what was the name of? There's a game. It was a shooter for PC, and now the only game mode anybody plays on it is the one where, like, it's a survival game mode where the map, like, is poisoned and it shrinks in on you.
H1Z1?
H1Z1. Okay, so to me, that game right now, really fun. When it came out, garbage. But everybody got it. Like, everybody tried to hop on the train of that game. But, like, none of the features worked. None of the features were out. And then I quit playing, so I was like, this game sucks. And now, I wish, if they would have come out with the game as it is now, yeah, that would have been a good $40 that I spent, and I would have played the game more. And I hope that's not what Pokemon Go does here. Like, I hope they didn't just put out the alpha version of the game for us all to fall out of love with, and then in 2 months be like, look, it's fun. And we're like...
Well, and to be fair, like, I've had games like that, like The Division.
Yeah.
Sure.
Really fun game.
Definitely.
I like it. Some of the updates have been kind of not the greatest, but they had a roadmap. They had a direction they wanted to take it in. So I put up with the bugs and whatever there was.
Without getting too far into the Division, though, I feel like they started focusing way too much on hardcore players and just leaving casual players.
But my whole point is the roadmap. I would like to see a roadmap.
Yeah.
If you give me a roadmap and say, this is our destination...
Yeah, I'll follow you through shit a lot
Yeah.
longer if you tell me where we're going.
I can go anywhere with a GPS.
Yeah, there you
as
go.
long as
Right.
you're giving me something to follow, I'm happy. I mean, at least I'm sort of in the loop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just leave us all in the dark. We don't know if our game's going to die or if we might get saved.
Yeah, and at this point, it's like every day, it just makes it that much more that they have to go above and beyond to keep this game relevant.
Right.
Well, and I would say it all hinges on the next update. You know, what is the next update going to do?
Not only that, but I would say it all hinges on how soon is the next
Yeah.
update.
Well, and considering we didn't expect this update for another week.
Yeah,
we didn't expect it till the
because if
6th.
I'm correct, the next update was supposed to be August 6th, right?
So they rushed this one
Yeah.
out then.
So that
They rushed it out, and I'm hoping this is a halfway point.
yeah,
maybe
Saying
and
we
that
disabled this so that we can actually fix it.
yeah, and that makes me wonder: are we getting a full real update on the 6th, or was this just the update for the 6th early?
I mean, and optimistically, when a company rushes an update out like that, it's generally them getting the hit finally.
See, and that's where I
Well, and I
that's
mean,
what I think.
They've disabled all of their social media
Yeah,
because they're getting too much negative feedback.
Oh,
the
yeah.
vitriol is melting the servers.
You would think, you would think that by now they've realized. If they didn't before, and they just didn't say something.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, considering the insane amount of money that's already been poured into this game from the community, and then people are now scrambling to pull their money back, I mean, that's got to be a wake up. Because even though, obviously they've profited beyond compare from this already,
Oh, I've
any
probably
company's going to notice
thrown
that.
in $25.
Probably at least 40.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
For me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I just dropped another $5 out of probably 500.
Well, and it's funny because when this game came out, I said, I'm not going to spend money on it.
I'll never buy Pokeballs. What am I doing today?
Yeah,
Yeah.
day 3 probably. There goes some of my money.
Well, and see, that's where, because I've seen a lot of negativity on Reddit, and the way they're running the game, I kind of have to believe it, of just, they're just being too greedy, because, they've made it harder to catch Pokemon, so there you go, buy more Pokeballs.
But at the same time, you can't buy Great and Ultra Balls, and you can't buy berries.
Yeah,
So,
And
them escaping,
Well, and
them,
also-
them jumping out of the ball, that's one thing.
yeah.
Them flat out escaping, that's another. Because no matter how many Pokeballs you have, if they can bust out and escape, but you can't buy Great and Ultras.
Am I the only one that feels the balls are statistically imbalanced because Pokeball is a spray painted Master Ball?
I feel like Ultra Balls aren't good enough. I don't necessarily
Seriously.
agree that Pokeballs are spray painted Master Balls, but I
Yeah.
do definitely think that Ultra Balls are not powerful
To be fair,
enough.
Ultra Balls were always kind of crap.
Oh yeah, in
In
any
the Game Boy
really.
games. Yeah, they were always kind of crap.
You just didn't use them.
Yeah.
I mean, I always had pretty good luck with them.
I would honestly be okay with specialized balls, like the net balls and the lure
There you
balls.
go.
Yeah.
The thing is if
Second
those
gen Kurtz balls.
if those are dropping off of Pokestops, that's gonna be more clutter and more stuff in our bags.
Yeah.
But I'd be all right with it if it was hey, this gives me a better chance to catch this.
Just because
bug.
whenever I hear that concept, I always shout out Gen 2's Kurtz Pokeballs.
Yeah.
One thing that would actually be a really cool update that I'd like to see, and kind of giving the game more substance, is okay, we've got Pokestops, we've got gyms. Eventually we're probably going to see Pokemon centers.
I
wanna see
believe
some
they've
more,
talked about.
Give us some more environmental encounters. We
so,
find random
adding
trees that we got to
apricot trees.
headbutt, find rocks to smash. Just give us a lot of old school ways of finding the Pokemon. and maybe just for giggles occasionally have like a guaranteed Pokemon on that day somewhere, like we had the Pseudo-Udos blocking a path back in the day.
Yeah.
Well,
Just something to give it more content,
and that's
something
been
that we see on our walks.
That's been a theory about the new leaders of the teams. Is possibly they might come up one day and be like, hey, there's an event at this spot, go ahead and go to it. You know, they might kind of be the messenger.
Send
for
you a
those
little
things.
in-game message every day. Sure.
Yeah, I mean,
That'd be neat.
and I mean, I think it'd be awesome if there were daily events in this game.
Oh, yeah.
Or if you could have to like hunt them down and find them each day for a bonus, maybe if you can find them in the game world.
Yeah, like
Just have,
daily
like,
achievements or
have
something.
3 daily objectives or something.
I mean, I've played MMOs.
Yeah,
and
right.
I
Dailies
think,
are
a reason to get
inevitable.
I think this should be more like an MMO.
Yeah.
It already is massively multiplayer
Yes.
and it's online. But give me daily achievements or daily objectives, you know? Give me a reason to get out after I've completed
something
my
to
Pokédex.
flesh out the end game more. Because the one thing, I'm at the point, I think I'm at 94.
Yeah.
So I've got around about 50, I don't know, minus legendaries or whatever. I'm already getting to the point where I'm just focusing on, okay, now I've got this, I got to get a higher CP one just to make more longevity for the game.
Well, and speaking of, I don't have the source, and I can't remember his name, but the first American player to complete the American Pokédex so far has actually taken it upon himself to fly to other countries
that a
and
New York
collect
CEO?
those Pokemon.
Yeah, you cut them all in New York City and cut 2 in Jersey. So, yeah.
Yep.
But wait, they nerfed that. They nerfed
They
inner
nerfed,
city spawn rates
yeah.
and buffed rural spawn rates.
Which
so,
is gonna be a pain for me when I get home.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen evidence of them buffing
I
rural
have definitely...
spawns.
Today I saw evidence of... I caught... Today I played for a couple hours. Ammonite, Rapidash, another Ammonite. Like, I saw a bunch of stuff. Like, usually I'm in my car. Yeah, don't play in your car. I'm not endorsing that. But I do have the game open because I'm driving from gym to gym. And usually it's like rat, Pidgey, rat, Pidgeotto, rat.
Yeah.
And today it was like there was more
Variety.
And the tracking, 49% reduction in the overall circle in the tracking. So I just feel like they are driving this game towards sitting down punishes you for all, like what we just talked about. Throwing Pokeballs at Pokemon over and over again is a really inefficient way to play the game. It's also a very lazy way to play the game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like Dustin, when you walked up to me the other day, I was at college.
Yeah.
And there's static spawn points in this game. Stuff spawns in the same spot on a timer. I know the college where all those spawn points are. I walk those spawn points. And so I'm hatching my eggs. There's Pokestops on my route, so I'm getting balls. And I hit the spawn points. And so I don't get that much less Pokemon than I do at a lure party. Let's say if it's a triple lure party, I probably get another 40%, which is significant. But sitting in a lure party, I'm not hatching eggs. And I'm not getting the exercise that I want to get from playing this game.
And not only that, but that 40% extra you're getting, most of it's Pidgeys.
Pidgeys, right, correct.
Yeah, well, and I mean, lure parties are great for their own...
Yeah, they're their own thing.
For their own thing. I mean, it's great to socialize and, you know, sit around, and I mean, we take board games and we play.
Yeah.
We'll have the game open, and when something pops up,
it's a good way to take
stop.
a break, but it shouldn't be the whole game.
Yeah, it should.
And I agree. If they're taking this game away from lure parties, I stand by that. Lure parties are great for after you've hit 1,000,000 Pokestops and you have 200 balls.
Yeah.
Go to a lure party, throw them all.
Yeah.
Like, that's fine. But I would rather be mobile. And, because like we said, the funnest part of this game, week 1, was when you're like, there's a Rapidash on my radar, it's 2 footsteps away. Like,
oh my god.
Yeah, I'm finding this.
Well, and not only that, but it was just the aspect of walking around, you see another player, you just yell at him, there's a Rapidash over here!
And they're like,
Yeah, and I mean, I would have loved it. I caught a Ninetales in my neighborhood.
Nice.
That was after the 3-step bug. I had to use Pokevision to find it.
Yeah.
It would have been so much more rewarding had I been able to track it down.
Yep.
Yeah, so, like, I definitely know, like, the Pokemon I've just stumbled upon, I have a greater sense of
You
accomplishment
have a better memory, and it's like the Game Boy games. You know what team you use and how you built them up and how long you had them. Whereas this, if you go and you know it's there, you're not going to remember that as well. You didn't spend time finding it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're pretty much just nerfing what made finding a Zubat exciting for me again after, 8-10 years.
Yeah.
Well, and let's face it, this game's done the impossible. They've made Magikarp
desirable.
desirable.
Yeah, it's true.
That is very true.
But on a more real note, I mean, everything's kind of falling into dissent and turmoil now. I've heard a lot of argument, and that's really bothering me, because when this first came out, I mean, I saw people socializing and getting along. I never would have thought in a million years would have.
Yeah, well, and like, I'm kind of done with non-AR gaming.
Really?
Like,
My PlayStation does not get touched.
yeah,
Really.
like I don't know, like
Yeah, I haven't turned mine on.
like pre Pokemon Go, like I watched the E3 footage and it was like, oh, this all looks so cool. Now No Man's Sky is about to come out, which I was
Yeah.
which
I'm going to watch No Man's Sky
Yeah,
flop from a distance.
like
actually.
yeah, I was super hyped for that, even knowing like that's gonna flop. I'm still gonna play it. Now it's just like,
Well, and yeah, like I mean, I see all these games coming out, and I'm like, yeah, I'll play that if I'm not playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it depends.
I mean, I was tripping for Sony's E3 show off and what's going to be coming out at the end of the year, beginning of next year. And I was just like, well, I mean, I'm still excited, but
if I could
This is so
trade,
excess.
if I could trade
That's
all
right.
those games never coming out for Pokemon Go working right, deal.
Back
Yeah.
on to the subject at hand, though.
Okay.
Another patch note is updated achievement medal images, and that's
Like
on
3.
That's only some. Yeah, that's only some of them, and some of them that updated are still the same. They're still duplicates of other ones.
true.
this one's prettier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would like to see the types. You know, rock type and fire type. Maybe
say-
do the gym badge.
I know the
for that specific gym.
Yeah.
I want
that
dumb
would be
cosmetic rewards.
I know the water
There you go.
type is a fish.
Yeah,
Is it-
one of them's like a Metapod or
Well,
a
see,
Wheedle or
what-
something.
Not that kind of bugs me. Why have a water type if I don't have a fire type
Yeah.
and I don't have
Yeah.
a rock type?
Plus, I feel like this was one of the things where they're like,
Nice.
Jeff in the art department was like a third done. They're like, Jeff, we're rolling out patch day. He's like, yeah, okay, I'm going to submit that right now.
Yeah.
And then, Jeff, why is only a third of them working? He's like, I don't know, man. I was too busy catching the Snorlax outside.
I have to say,
find
if
it on
Niantic
Pokevision
does
anymore.
play their own game,
There's no way they're playing.
No,
There's no way.
There's no
There's
way.
no way.
There's no way because they would have to know what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and like I feel like they do know. I maybe I'm in the total minority here, but I feel like Niantic is pushing this game in the right direction. I think I see what they're going for, and if I'm right, I'm going to love this game. And so I'm just going to, because first of all, okay, I've paid maybe $40 in Pokecoins, right? I've paid a lot more money than that for a console game and played it for like 45 hours, beat the game, but like I didn't really enjoy it that much, but I just played it.
I played Evolve for a night.
Yeah, right.
Never
Yeah,
touched
say,
it
I've paid a lot more for PlayStation games and played them for less than 5
Yeah.
hours.
So, like,
I've easily got $1,000 sitting in my entertainment center, and this still gets more attention.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's free.
And so that's one of my biggest points is like Niantic is not a shitty company to me because they've already provided me with probably like more hundreds of hours than I'd like to admit of entertainment for $40.
Yeah,
Which-
I
so-
honestly wish I
I'll
could check
agree.
time.
Yeah.
I'll agree. I wouldn't call them a shitty company. And to be fair, I was on the Reddit before this game came out.
Uh huh.
I saw warnings from Ingress players saying they don't have PR.
Yeah.
You know, PR isn't a thing for Niantic. And at first, it's gonna suck.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
At first, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
And it's kind of gone downhill, and I hope
because
it
it was
goes back
Pokemon
up.
though. At first,
Yeah.
it was awesome because we got to
Yes.
see pictures of pretty Pokemon
Yeah.
on the
And,
screen.
Yeah,
and
when
the AR. Does anyone use AR? I use it for taking
Yeah,
pictures.
Yeah,
I
pictures.
use it
And
for
I will
pictures.
turn it off, point the phone where I want it,
Yep.
and turn it
But
back
it
on.
is still augmented reality because the MMO world that we're playing in is our world.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that is the AR that I enjoy of the game. Not the, the pretty pictures are fun.
Yeah, yeah. It's
I mean, I've seen a lot of really cool custom mods people have done with AR equipment using Pokemon Go. And they've used everything from headsets to still the phone and everything, but to be able to like flick Pokeballs or use different types of
I've
motions.
Have
seen,
you seen the video that they hooked a drone up
Yes.
Yeah.
playing Pokemon Go?
Nice.
I've seen one, somebody 3D printed a case that has like a perfect
Yeah.
straight
They're
line
selling
in
it.
it.
They're actually
Yeah,
selling
so
those.
that you can throw straight balls.
Yeah.
I'm going to say I just went into my dev options for Android and turned on the touch tracking so you get a little dot whenever you're touching your screen, and I
Yeah.
found that helps a lot in keeping track of where I'm throwing.
Okay.
I mean, 'cause if anything, that's helped me train my little side swipe
Yeah.
finger better.
Yeah. Say, I still just prefer to do curveballs.
The
Oh,
curveball's
let's do better
different now,
execute.
too.
It
It's a lot
is.
I'm
different.
going to catch the Pokemon, guys.
Nice.
This is one fixed issues with displaying certain map features.
They did
Now,
fix that.
what that is
Yeah.
it's walking paths and
Parking
things like
lots.
that, parking
Yeah.
lots. Another one, minor text fixes.
Hey,
course.
every
You-
time.
you
That's
gotta
going to be...
have-
They pay attention. They're trolling us with that every time.
they have to.
Absolutely.
Oh, they have to.
Yep.
But no, like I kind of see the optimistic vision of it you do, but I've spent too much time on Reddit and I've seen a lot of negative.
But Reddit,
things.
that is the
It's the nature of Reddit.
shit
Yeah.
posting on the internet is 95% of the internet,
There's-
and it's
you
always
have-
an overshot.
You have animosity.
Yeah.
That's
well,
what-
and
it fits.
anonymity.
Yeah, and you're talking about
That's
being
that-
anonymous
yeah,
on the internet.
anonymity. I can't say it right
Anonymity.
now.
Yeah, there you
That
go.
is, way too many.
well, and like one theory
There's
I've
also
seen,
animosity, though.
Yeah.
People
one
are
theory
mad.
I've seen that I believe is way too possible to be true, and I really don't want it to be, is that they remove tracking because they don't want you to be responsible for telling you to trespass, essentially.
I think just putting the disclaimer of "don't trespass" is enough to remove their.
Well, it's
like-
kind of bad
that's what user
that be
groups
aware
are.
of your
Right.
surroundings was too broad for people.
Yeah, I mean that's the
I
Darwin
think that
thing.
says
we
more
talked
for
about
us than
earlier.
Niantic, really.
Yeah, like I don't buy that theory. I feel like that is just there's so many just butthurt people on the internet right now that really are just mad the tracking doesn't work, and they're mad because they used to be able to sit at their computer with 5 screens open, pinging their whole town and getting whatever they wanted.
I mean, and if
Yeah.
we really wanted to step away from, our worry for a minute and thinking the game might crash, how many awesome games do we play that went through crappy starts?
Yeah, like
All
every
right.
MMO.
Yeah.
GTA.
Yeah, GTA
GTA
5.
Online.
GTA sucked when it first came out, and then they stepped it up.
it didn't
Yeah.
suck. It was horrible.
Dustin and I
GTA
can
Online.
never
you got more
connect.
experience, you live up on that.
GTA Online, even to this day, is not a great experience, but for some
Connection has been
reason,
better though.
yeah, for some reason, it's still addicting.
I
as
can
all
rob
hell.
a bank and blow my friend up, I'm in.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
Not
so
only that, if you spend a whole lot of time, I got tanks and helicopters to do that shit with.
we also have 2 undocumented changes on this list,
Okay.
and that's we've already talked about it. Remove battery saver from the iOS, and favoriting Pokemon prevents trading. That's a
that
big.
really
I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love.
They
that.
listen to the community on that one.
Well,
I will
and
say.
that I really like because
That's
now I
got a
have
lot
a
of
reason to
people.
favorite them.
Yes,
Because
right.
before it was like, why do I need to favorite them? I can just rank by CP and there's everything.
I will say the fact that the bottom right button is favorite and trade. That could cause some problems. You might accidentally unfavorite and trade, you know.
yeah.
But I think it closes that menu after you favorite it, so you would kind of know.
Well, and it still asks you, are you sure you want to transfer?
That's true. And did it beforehand?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Did
Really?
it when you evolved?
Yeah, it allows. It asks
Well,
you
and
when you
there's a
evolve.
much easier way to favorite. Just click the star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't even
that's
got to
true.
open the menu.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Just-
I do like where they moved the transfer button. It's still not the transfer all option we were
Yeah.
hoping
No.
for, but
I
it's
mean,
a lot faster.
A lot of people, like myself, and I know Bachover, I think, had an instance with this. It's where you just get so trained to going through 500 Pidgeys to transfer. It's like, all right, Pidgey,
And then he-
Pidgey. Oh, crap!
Yeah.
Well, and I would say I would rather have a mass transfer. Like, that's something I would like. I joked about a mass evolution.
it would ruin the game.
I
It would
understand
ruin the
why
game.
they
Yeah.
won't
Yep.
want to allow that.
It would definitely ruin
Because,
the game.
you have 30 minutes with those lucky eggs,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cap. You can
Yeah.
only do so much,
Yeah.
and I understand that.
Well, and especially because if you could afford to get your Pokemon inventory up to like 1,000,
Oh, yeah.
just fill that out with Pidgeys and then evolve them all at once.
Yeah, there's.
Oh, it would feel good to see that
It
number on the
would
bottom
feel
of the
really
screen.
good to see that number.
That 50 million experience cap ain't gonna hurt as bad.
No.
No.
All right, so I just brought up Facebook though,
Okay.
and I feel like this is something we should talk about.
The thing on Facebook.
everybody
right.
shares.
Yeah, we need to talk about that
Yes.
because
It's actually
now,
at the top
now
of
the
my
the
Yep.
Pokevision spam has been replaced with what is probably fake legendary spam.
But you know what? Just don't follow through with it
Yeah,
until
just-
all right.
somebody else
I
proves
give
it
them
right.
credit, this is quality spam, alright? They
Yeah.
tried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The-
They
it's
did-
obviously not clickbait.
They did-
There aren't ads on the site.
Yeah.
Yep.
They did a really good job of making it look
we
like
have
it's
compared it side by side. The only difference I found was
Slightly different colors.
slightly different background color, and that could be due to phones.
Yeah, it could
I
have
was
been
on
different
iPhone,
phones.
Yeah.
you were on Android.
You can click the links on the link. Like if you follow the link on Facebook, there's the this menu picture button on the top right of
Yeah.
the page.
Yeah.
You can click that and it does link back to the actual Pokemon Go site.
Yep.
But there is not a link from the Pokemon Go site
Yeah.
back to the thing.
And these
And-
things
and I-
kind of lean me towards not legit.
Retail.
And the two biggest things that lean me towards not legit is A, they've said there will be no legendary events until the game is out in every country.
Mm-hmm.
And B, somebody on the Facebook page said they did some digging and the domain is not tied to Niantic at all.
Well, that and this game's all about getting out and about.
Yeah.
They're not sharing
give,
something.
Yeah, they're not going to give you a legendary incense.
Well, and I guess
Legendary.
That's what it's called.
well, I mean, and
There are legendary incense, lords, and masters.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm going with the conclusion that this is, a fake website, it's phishing, whatever. Okay, what is the purpose of this website? What are they trying to get out of us here? Is
Your
this gonna
Google
bug our
account.
Your
phone?
Google
Our
account.
Your Google
what?
account. Because when you do fill that bar,
You have to link
you
your account.
you what? Submit it
Yeah.
to get the reward.
Yeah.
I mean,
Air quotes. You can't
That's
see
what
that.
I
waiting
only
to
read
see
it and they
that.
had specified just, your account name. I'm like, oh, you just want a player name? Okay.
Like I really I'm curious to see what'll happen, but I really don't want to have somebody be bummed out on the page so my account's gone because I thought I was getting a master ball.
Well, I mean, it doesn't need to be one of the people I know. Just somebody. I'm
Yeah.
waiting for a Reddit thread that actually confirms or denies this 100%, and I haven't found one yet.
Yeah, and well, hopefully it's somebody doing it with an alt account just to see if it works.
Right. Well, okay, so here's something that I think is weird. Even people around here are restarting the game. Why? What is the benefit of
I've heard people restart because they didn't know about the Pikachu thing.
Yeah.
By that point, I was already level 10, and I didn't really feel
Yeah,
it.
I was level 6 or 7 by
It's
that
not
point,
worth
and
it.
I was like, I've already
Yeah.
chosen a team.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. That seems like a lot of grinding I don't want to do over.
Yeah,
it.
and
Well,
like,
I don't get it, especially for getting that Pikachu, because I don't know about anything else, but this game is different than the Game Boy games in the fact that
starters don't mean
that
anything.
starter you ditch as soon as you can.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. But well, and I've seen a couple people that are saying they're doing it because this time they're not going to spend any Stardust till they're level 20, which is that'll be great.
Yeah.
But in the time you spent doing that,
You could just gotten.
you could have just gotten
It's
Stardust
actually
on
a
your base.
1-to-1 equation. You can get all that Stardust back and be higher level.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. See, I don't here's a title of a thread on Reddit. Niantic should sell Pokemon Go to someone who cares. Whoever wrote that is just wrong. Niantic's making money; they care.
Well, to be fair though, it is worth over. Actually, it's almost $4 billion.
Yes, but that. So, I agree. That's a point. That's well said. But this is internet troll hate,
and
it's
I don't
not
think-
something that you can
I can see where it's coming from.
Sure, because people are mad.
Because they're not communicating.
I can see that, but Niantic shouldn't sell it.
No, I wouldn't.
They-
so.
They
no,
know what they're doing.
they definitely
when it comes
shouldn't.
to AR games. They have the experience
Yeah.
with Ingress.
They
I mean,
definitely
and if you
shouldn't
hop
sell
onto
it.
Ingress, it runs like a freaking champ. They figured it out.
Yeah.
I mean,
But it took time to get there.
And I mean, granted, they are using Ingress's framework. They're still building an entirely new game on it. I mean,
Yeah. Well, and I think
and
they.
Ingress did not have the AR component that this does. I mean, so there is a lot more footwork they have to do here.
But let's just move on to the next topic.
Yeah, let's do that. I agree.
Go for it.
All right. So next topic: future of the game. What do we see? Where do we see this going?
Okay, so besides all the obvious that we've talked about, one thing I really, really want to see for people who can't afford to travel as much, I want to see some kind of either safari zones or a safari lure or a safari incense, something like that makes things pop up that normally wouldn't in your region.
Okay.
Well, they're already
To be
talking
fair.
about specialized lures.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah, and I'm hoping that's one of them.
I'm more concerned when I think future of the game. I'm talking longevity.
Yeah.
How's this going to last? And how many people are going to be playing when this gets to the point where, oh man, this is what I wanted?
Well, at this point, I'm kind of a pessimistic person, so at this point, I'm just hoping we make it to Gen 2.
Well, I mean, if we want points for longevity, I mean, we have plenty of generations and features that they could work with.
We do. We even have a new generation coming out in, November?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I think the speculation has been any time between November and January.
I was
2017.
talking about the Sun and Moon generation.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
need a new. Yeah.
Well, I mean, for bringing generations into Go, I feel like maybe, a 6-month to 8-month run on each generation.
Yeah, that would be plenty.
Well,
And there's a
okay.
rumor that Gen 2 will come out in December, and after that, it'll be every 6 months.
And I'd be okay with that,
Yeah.
because I feel like at this point we need another gen, and I mean, Gen 2 blends well enough with this one, everybody's going to be okay
Well,
with
and my question is Gen 2, by that time, by December, hopefully we'll have the trading that is supposed to be in the game.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
And I've heard people say trading will be game breaking and whatnot. I don't believe so. You're still
you just
gonna
got to put
have
limitations. They won't just make it like
global trading would be game.
Yeah.
It would be terrible.
I mean, no Wonder Trade or anything like that. But I mean, if I can walk up to somebody and SB my Pokemon back and forth, I'm happy.
Yeah, that would be cool. Just walk up to
I
somebody.
mean, because I can still
I caught a
go, hey
Snorlax
buddy,
today.
give me
What do
a
you
couple
want for
Dragonites. Okay, I've got a couple of those, but I still have to work my butt off to get everything else.
Yeah.
And not everybody's just going to go handing out their Pokemon.
Yeah.
I mean, this is kind of one of those games. You have something excellent, you put the work in for it, you don't want to get rid of it.
Yeah.
One thing I'm kind of worried about when later generations start coming out is I know there's a lot of people who do not give a shit past 151.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I'm worried about is what happens to the 151 after
Yeah.
another generation comes out.
Yeah.
Are there going to be Pokemon everywhere? Are they going to be flooding? Or is it going to be there are decreased spawn rates for Gen 1 Pokemon
That is
so
a
that Gen
balance
2
issue.
can get through?
Yeah, I would hope that they would still be catchable, just rarer.
I mean, that does throw a lot of wrenches into it, because obviously those points there, and I mean, really the only thing we have to run off of for generation separation is the fact that they were on different continents. We had Kanto, Johto, etc. I mean, how are we going to try and bring that into the real world?
I've heard
'Cause we can have people
someone
running
has
between
requested
states.
on Reddit that each continent be a different region.
That person has money. And
I don't think that's a good idea.
No.
I think there's a way to do it, but I don't think that's it.
Yeah, that's definitely not the way, because then the
No
only way
one's
you're going
completing
to
the
get them all.
Pokedex unless you're,
Yeah,
I mean, and seasonal real-time gameplay is definitely doable. There's a number of games that do it, and Nintendo already made it work flawlessly with the Animal Crossing games.
Oh yeah, I
We've
think
played
if
those
it's
for years.
if it's winter, ice types.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, and I would
water,
honestly
whatever.
be okay with a game that cycles based on real time.
Yeah.
Did you guys read the
I
bot
mean,
on
it just goes into the
on that the link, Facebook link?
Yeah.
Here's the privacy policy at the bottom. PokemonPromo.com is an entity separate from Niantic. The end. It's dead.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, so this is already not an official Niantic thing.
yeah.
Just, I don't know, that.
That means don't do it.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
They're just trying to bank on the fact nobody ever reads that.
Yeah.
But no, the argument I'll maintain for people saying nothing counts past 151, Generation 2 at least still counts, because Ho-Oh was in Episode 1
That's right.
of the
I mean,
anime.
it's true.
Actually, I don't think that was Ho-Oh.
That was Ho-Oh.
That was Mew.
That was Ho-Oh.
That was Mew.
What was it? Oh,
Ho-Oh is the only one capable of granting Ash's longevity wish.
And Mew is the only one capable of transforming other than Ditto. There's a Pokemon movie that starts with a Ho-Oh flying over a battle scene. He flies into a cave and he turns into Mew.
I suppose it honestly doesn't really
He
matter
likes
because
to-
Mew would have the same
Yeah.
power as
Okay,
Ho-Oh,
okay.
so both could grant the wish.
Mew
but here's-
likes taking the form of Ho-Oh. He's done it multiple
Okay,
times.
but here's the thing. If he was taking the form of Ho-Oh, there was still a Ho-Oh.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
I mean,
So
that's-
Ho-Oh is
that's
at least still,
it's still
acknowledged as being a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if anything, Gen 2 was pretty much just 1.5. I mean, it's the supplement patch.
Yeah.
Because we just had a lot of extra evolutions added in.
Well, and you
honestly,
had-
I felt
you
a
had
lot
a
of the
lot-
new Pokemon were good.
Yeah.
You had a lot that there were some types in Gen 1 that were lacking.
Yeah.
They didn't have as many as, there are a ton of water types.
Steel.
Well, it's like
You
getting
know,
Sea
you
Dragon.
get
Yeah.
Steel. Gen 2 is also where baby Pokemon
Oh, yeah.
come in.
Which-
You got, what is it, Pika? No,
Your
Pichu,
Pichu,
Cleffa.
Munchlax.
Munchlax, Elekid.
Elekid, yeah. What was
There's a Magmar
There's
one.
Togepi. And Magby.
Yeah,
Magby.
Magby, and what was the Chansey one?
The Chansey one.
Or what was it, Chansey or was it Clefairy?
It was Cleffa, Clefairy, Clefable,
Okay, yeah,
and then
it's
Chansey.
All right, we are getting a little off topic.
Yeah,
and this is a topic we were planning on talking about anyways. But longevity-wise, I see it kind of going up and down. When new gens come out, it'll bring people back, obviously. And I think if the game's where it should be by that time,
People will keep.
they'll stay.
Yeah.
They'll keep playing. And that's great.
I mean, as
I
long as
personally hope I'm still playing by then, just so that I can,
Yeah, say
be there to experience.
I'm gonna stick it out for as long as
Yeah.
it's.
As long as they don't drag their feet too much, there's still going to be a bit of a roller coaster based on the generations and just in general game fluctuation.
That's
If they quit dragging feet, I think they'll make it.
Yeah, and look at okay, World of Warcraft. Any popular
Oh, yeah.
MMO ever. Oh, and like launch, huge player base. It starts tapering off, levels out, expansion. Okay,
Yeah.
huge player base starts tapering, and so the expansion brings people back, and they
And it
don't have
brings-
to. They don't have to make new content.
Well,
The
that's
content's
an
already
example,
there.
too.
Like,
it also not only brings people back, it brings
Sorry.
in new players.
Yeah, right.
A lot of the time.
Hey,
So-
because and not only to mention Pokemon, like the original anime Pokemon was not meant for 30-year-olds sitting in this room right now. It was meant for younger people.
Yeah.
And like there's 4-year-olds right now, right? Like, okay, here's one thing I think is important. Reddit does not represent the majority player base of this game.
No, it's true.
And so, but Reddit represents more the hardcore player base of the game, and those casual players are what drives this game's success or not, because that's who, you know, that 8-year-olds whose mom is spending $25, you know, oh, it's your birthday, honey, here's $25 Poke coins or
That was
something.
my origin story.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, see, and that's, as long as this game is still fun for them, the game will live.
On that note, my mom always tells me, you don't know what love is until you take your child to the Pokemon movie. And
Yep.
That's great.
Good mom.
I remember when we saw Pokemon 2000.
I know as I was 8 years old, it was Easter, and my mom gave me a copy of Crystal. My life was over.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of Pokemon 2000, the moment Ash gets turned to stone, saddest moment of your childhood.
I don't know about that because competing with it is Marowak's mom
It's true.
and God, what else was it?
Gary's Raticate.
Oh yeah, Gary's
Yeah,
Raticate.
Gary's Raticate.
I always like Gary. Gary's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, like I was
Which
kind
I've
of like
actually heard a
it's like
theory
yeah,
that
he's sort of a
disproves
dick,
that.
but
Yeah,
whatever.
But like he's
I've heard a
competing
theory
with
that
the
disproves
hero
that,
of the
though.
show. Like,
Yeah.
of course he's
It's
the
all
bad
about
guy, but
it's
he's
level
not bad.
16 Raticate.
Yeah.
Raticate
He's just
doesn't
hardcore.
turn-
Yeah, he's
or
just
Raticate
better than
Yeah.
Ash.
doesn't turn into Raticate until like 25.
Yeah.
So.
Which, going back and rewatching it, that's just one thing I totally forgot, just how inept Ash is.
Yeah. Catch them all. I got a Pidgey. I'm done.
Catch 'em
Pikachu
all.
ever won a legitimate battle that wasn't Team Rocket?
He beat Raichu once,
Yeah,
but it was like a
Lieutenant
second.
Surge's Raichu.
Yeah.
yeah, he beat Raichu.
Well, and to be fair, he beat an Onyx, but you know
he beat
the
an Onyx
sprinklers-
because
the
the
sprinklers
sprinklers
on.
he beat an Onyx because the fire system went off.
Well, not only that, but has Ash ever won a battle?
He did get his ass kicked by a Spearow.
Yeah.
Well, no. Let's see. He got a badge from Brock, even though he didn't beat him.
Right.
Well, he technically beat him.
technically
Yeah.
beat
I mean, he
him.
went on to get all the Vermilion and
Misty
Orange
pretty
Iron
much
badges.
just
He-
gave it to
well,
him.
yeah, no, Misty's sisters gave it to him
Yeah.
because he lost the gym battle, but then he saved him from Team Rocket, so they gave
Yeah,
him
because
the
they
match.
burned everything.
Team
I mean,
Rocket.
Can we face it? Ash is the worst trainer there is.
Oh, he totally is.
That's why we like him.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
now
maybe
we're all
that-
better than
Yeah,
Maybe
now
that's
we're all
part of
better than him.
Ho's
He only
whole
caught like
genie
40
wish, letting him
some.
stay a trainer forever is, okay, you can be a trainer forever, but you're going to suck.
Yeah, so he only caught like 40 out of
Ash, most
650.
good trainers move on to gym masters at some point.
Gary was already done by episode 3.
Right? Like episode 3, he's got half the Pokedex, and Ash has a Caterpie now.
Yeah. He
But
never
Ash was
refuses
all
to
about making
evolve.
friends and loving them.
Right.
No, James was always the best trainer. James didn't even catch nothing. He's like, hey, you want to come?
What was the psychic girl trainer's name?
Sabrina.
Yeah, she was my
There,
favorite.
there was the Savage trainer.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, the unofficial gym.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
that was-
I like Sabrina.
Yeah, it was the fighting gym next door to Sabrina.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, there's. Oh crap! I can't remember.
I'll tell you one thing, that, like while we're on this topic, talking about different trainers, my vision for how I was going to play this game, I had to immediately throw it away because of the Vaporeon Eevee meta thing, especially around here where you just get Eevees left
Yeah.
and right. Now, if I really wanted, like, I just wanted to be a psychic Pokemon trainer. I was going to
Oh, see, I wanted to be Brock.
Okay, so you want to be Rock.
I'm from Arizona.
Yeah.
There are tons of rock.
And so, like, I had to throw that away. Now, I could do that. I could definitely I could just walk around in the world and be like, I'm going to get my experience from Pokestops, eggs, and I'm going to look for Abras and executes and just psychic stuff.
See, I'm not in the right region for that because I want to have a fire team.
Yeah, nope. Good luck. You get a Charmander a week.
Yeah,
Like-
pretty much. Sometimes you
Yeah,
get a Charmander
right.
a week.
In
Which-
my time.
The sad thing about the nests that have changed is in Phoenix, we were calling locations by what spawned there.
Yeah.
It wasn't Tempe Town Park or anything, you know, like just
It was
throwing
the
out.
Dratini nest.
There was Dratini Park. There was Charmander Mountain.
That's
you know,
cool.
there was Squirtle Park. You know, there were
Dang.
we actually. Oh, there are tons. but we actually called things by where they were.
Yeah.
We had a Pikachu nest in Kansas City at the museum. It is now an Ekans nest, which is
They ate all the
worthless. Yeah, it came in and ate them. And there's only 2 nests in Kansas City. One's a Magmar and one was a Pikachu.
You know, I wonder if they did that intentionally or if they just picked Ekans.
Maybe it's just
It's like, snakes do eat mice.
like it would be cool to play this game with a theme, and at least now you could do that. So and fighting was always my I like walking around and stuff, but I like fighting gyms.
And let's face it, this is definitely a role-playing game, and there was no role-playing.
No, it
Where's
wasn't.
my LARPing?
Yeah, right.
Like,
Now you can
I
sort
want
of
to be
do
able to
that.
put a cap on and do this.
I just
And
had more.
can't.
I had
They
more.
were selling them at the park I was at.
Wow,
Dude, I would have bought one if I was there.
I bought Team Mystic shirts. So.
that's badass.
I'm not wearing mine right now.
So like every time I see something good, just spin that cap back and go.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just know from if I was to just completely forget about the first part of the game, forget about my thoughts for the future. I had more fun today than I have had for a week. And then to me, so I'm that's why I'm optimistic. Maybe.
And on that note, if tracking comes back,
I will have even more fun.
yeah, if they bring that polo back,
Yeah.
because the quote is, you can't invent Marco
Marco,
Polo
and then delete
without taking out,
a week later, be like, Polo, don't say it anymore.
Yeah. And that's from a developer of Pokevision.
Yeah, right. That's what he tweeted out today. Yeah.
And I mean, Pokevision, I'm sure they got a cease and desist.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
they've even said, what is it? They said we're respecting the wishes
Yeah.
of the Pokemon Company and Niantic.
Yeah.
Whereas Pokeware, I'm sure it was more under the radar.
Yeah.
Or it was
Pulling-
skimming off of.
Yeah.
Pulling directly
Pokevision.
from their API, though, is against the terms of
It
service.
is.
It is.
So, I mean,
Well, and that's the thing is every post I saw about it was, hey, this breaks the terms of service, but
it really was a gray area. I mean,
I don't think it was a gray
I don't
area.
I think it was
Gray area.
blatant
Yeah.
cheating.
I think
I
I think it was blatant cheating that I took part in.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was a gray area. It was black and white. People just
Yeah.
decided, nope, it's gray.
Well,
I have to say gray just for the simple fact they kind of asked for it.
they did, and that's
I
how everybody
totally-
justified
yeah.
it. Was they're like, look, the game's broke. We're going to cheat.
Well, and
Yeah.
if they integrated it in to Pokemon Go,
oh, well,
something like that, like you could go to the Pokedex, click on one, and be like, "Where is this near me?"
yeah.
Kind of like in the games where it would kind of flash where it is.
Even if it came back with it's not.
Yeah.
Well, and that'd
I'd be
be a
like,
good
okay.
tie-in
or
for the
or like,
location found
hey,
piece.
it could be like somewhere to the south. It doesn't have
Yeah.
to be like bling bling right
Right.
here. Just hey, this is the direction.
what I would
Start
really
going
like
to
to
Well, the
see,
Pokédex could pull, the capture images of the map,
Yeah.
and find something.
yeah, what I would really like to see, because I've seen people who Pokevision made the game for them because they didn't have a lot of time to play.
Yeah, I couldn't name people.
I would,
Oh, that was me because I worked nights.
yeah, I would
There you
kind of
go.
like to see different levels. I want easy tracking, so it gives you're this far away, this direction, or there could be hard tracking where this is what's in the area. Good luck.
That's what we have now.
Yeah.
And the only way to keep that map. Here's what I've noticed with that. Driving around, I needed to have another person with me to know when my map or their map was desynced from the game, and then you
and
reload the
you
game.
have to
it
reload
fixes.
the game.
Right?
Yeah.
And so
Which sometimes that game will not reload.
yeah, well, and that speaks to them still having server issues.
Yeah.
And I think the server. So here, I have a thought that leads into that. One, Niantic probably sold their soul to Nintendo to get the Pokemon license.
Yeah.
Because they're like, we want to make a game. Nintendo, let us make Pokemon.
Well, and
so
on that note, though,
Okay.
I feel Niantic, even at what was it, E3, was kind of like, well, we'll release it when it's done.
Yeah.
And then Nintendo was like, it's coming out soon.
And that's what I'm saying.
And they pushed.
Yeah, and so that's why these server issues that are compounded by things like Pokevision and all these things that are pinging their servers, I bet you Niantic would have probably been like, okay, we release the game in Australia. Let's let Australia beta test this game, and then we'll release it to the big markets. Nintendo was probably like, hi, I'm the CEO of Nintendo, and I can fire your ass. Release that game in America, then release it in
Which is
EU.
the funny thing, because they even asked, someone even asked someone that worked at Niantic, how much involvement did Nintendo have? And they said, well, he came up on stage at E3 and talked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was it.
Well,
But their stakeholders in Niantic and the Pokemon Company.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, it's like...
And that's really Nintendo's only influence at the moment is the fact that they've got that little bit of share in it. Outside of that, Niantic's got full reign.
Well, but we have
Yeah.
no idea what, like, Nintendo... The kind of pressure Nintendo's putting on Niantic.
Oh, yeah, I'm
and
sure that was there.
Well,
Yeah.
and also, I don't think they could have gotten away with just now it's out in Australia and we're beta testing it because once it came out in Australia, the hype train in America just
Yep.
became a
Nuts.
bullet
Oh, I know.
train.
I was refreshing the app
Yeah.
Yeah.
constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like I was just like at work any moment I had a chance.
I
Refresh the App Store.
downloaded it on my way to work.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I was on a business trip, and I was, like, in the bus with my students, and I was like, hey, guys, guess what? Pokemon Go just came out.
Just everybody
Oh,
fucks
All
yeah,
right.
half my students spent the rest of the trip playing Pokemon Go.
That's-
which
that's
was
awesome.
But,
Yeah, so
Right.
it came out. I had like 2 hours left on my shift, and jobs out in the middle of nowhere, so nothing spawned.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I just sat there and scrolled around like there's a Pokestop there and a Pokestop there. I'm gonna go to that one first.
Hey.
Well, and I mean, if this is an indicator, do you guys know what the rating in Japan right now is?
1.5.
It's a 1.5 in the App Store.
Ooh.
Because
Whoa.
Japan got this game, they got the shittiest version of this game, which was like a week ago.
Yeah.
Like that is the nothing worse.
And the sad
server
thing is
instability
they said, hold off on Japan. We want the servers up and running for Japan. Japan is very dedicated
Yeah.
to Pokemon.
Yeah.
Japan's not going to sugarcoat a review.
Their Mickey Mouse is Pikachu.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
But you know, I like. I don't know. I just have faith once servers get fixed, they're gonna put tracking back in this game.
I mean, and I'll give them credit; they have come a pretty decent way with the servers.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
I mean,
Granted,
really
they
bad.
have to switch
Well,
phone services.
I think-
that aside, I've seen a vast improvement.
I think
Yeah.
it crashed on me today,
Really,
but also T-Mobile for Chinook's
Is
kind of
bad.
spotty.
I've
it's
not
spotty.
humbled their servers in a minute, so
See, I've had 2 situations over the past week or so where I couldn't get in for about 30 minutes or so, but that's
Well,
a lot better than it
yeah,
was.
because it was
where-
4 or 5 times a
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, it
And
was
it
4 or
was-
5 times a day, and that 4 or 5 times a day would last an hour.
And,
Yes.
and last night it took a while to sign in, but that was right after they patched.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Right
right.
after-
Which means
right after-
everybody
Yeah.
is signing
Well, and
up.
what
Right
got
after
me for
the
the
patch,
longest
it was
time
little.
is that obviously night is going to be one of the easiest times that you can get into play.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm working night shift, and where I live, it's going to be Pidgey maybe every 2 hours, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because the first night it hit, I mean, you told me within half an hour I was out there running around my entire work
Yeah.
property.
Yeah. Well, and I see where they're going. Where it's like, it would be really cool if rural areas had stuff in them, but like, it's actually not going to make that big of a difference in the game because no one's out in the middle of a farm catching Pokemon, you
Yeah.
know? And so they have to release, especially if you're having server issues, you have to only release the content where people are going to play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so,
I do think it's kind of sad that we don't have anything at the dam outside of town. We have
Oh,
to go all the
okay.
way to Humboldt
You're
to
right.
play near
Yeah.
a river.
which, like, why isn't Santa Fe Lake classified as a water
Well,
spawn area?
The thing
It's
is,
weird to me.
from what I've seen from Sylph Roads, is
It goes
lakes.
rivers, then lakes.
Well, lakes are like the bottom of the list for
Really? Okay.
spawning water types,
Okay, well, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
which I don't really think
The
makes a whole
ocean
lot
looks
of sense.
badass. I
Oh,
want
yeah.
to go to the ocean.
like,
Yeah.
to be fair, every time you brought up Pokevision,
Yeah, you were
Santa
Santa
Monica Pier.
Yep.
Oh,
You want some Ammonites?
One kick
Yeah.
in the face.
Yeah.
Here you are.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Kabutos here. Man.
Well, not
okay.
only that,
Well,
it was
the
just
fossils are
like
their Pidgeys.
it was just like you could just sit on
Please.
Santa Monica Pier and catch everything
Oh,
in
yeah.
a couple days.
Yeah.
Because there would be like all the starters. There'd be Kabuto. There'd be Ammonite.
I would like to see more, not region specific, maybe micro region specific. You know,
Yeah.
Santa Fe Lake spawns more water types. you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, and I would like to see
Parks. I
I'd even
think
be happy
should
with
spawn more.
counties.
What?
I'd honestly even be happy with counties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, and I would like to see more things like, okay, it's really hot out, really bright out, not a lot of clouds out today, so there's more fire types.
Yeah.
Sandshrews and Charmanders
Yeah.
all over
Yeah.
the
and there's
place,
only
sure.
50 bazillion freaking weather APIs
Well,
that I happily volunteer.
The thing
Yeah.
that's hard about that is because right now it's clearly like there is static spawn thing for planes. There's static spawn things for inner city.
Which
It's-
is
it-
Well, and
okay.
which
what-
is which is
I
okay.
think right now they have 3 regions, and it's desert,
Forest.
forest, and ocean, or something along
I
those
thought it
lines.
was
Well, no, because
Is
city,
it urban?
I thought-
Desert,
Urban is
forest,
definite.
and urban.
for example, Chicago, right? Chicago is that's not true because I've just been to a lot of different places. Chicago, Zubats, Drowsies, Slowpokes. I mean, like when I came back, I was only in Chicago for 4 days. I had 2 Hypnos, like 4
Yeah, they
gold
thought you were
bats.
spoofing.
Yeah, they thought it was spoofing. They literally accused me of cheating. And then
What's
like
Lauren doing?
right. And then I went to Kansas City. I came back here and played for a few days. And I told my girlfriend, I was like, look, this place sucks compared to the city. Let's try Kansas City. We go up there, Clefairy, Magikarp, there's a Pikachu nest, and it was Kansas City.
Not now.
But there was a nest.
Yeah.
And so like Chicago, very different city than Kansas City. You don't find Hypnos in Kansas City. I mean, you know, occasionally you get rare spawns anywhere.
See, I would expect Drowsy's in New York because it's a city that never sleeps.
We get everything in New York, apparently. Apparently, New York's also the city where you can get 142 tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I was going to spoof, I'd spoof New York.
Which,
please.
speaking of getting 142,
Come on.
that 143rd that no one's found yet. Ditto.
Ditto, right, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's move on.
Yeah, we should get to that.
I'm trying to keep us on track.
No, good, because like my family's having dinner tonight, and I'm already like probably 45 minutes late. But whatever. It's just food. This is Pokemon.
So far, there are a lot of rumors where Ditto is. I'd have to say my favorite is that it's a South American exclusive. I don't like that because it's an exclusive.
Yeah,
but at the
me.
same time, it makes sense. Mew was discovered in South America.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Ditto is supposed to be a failed clone of Mew.
Yeah.
I like that.
And they say that he's not in the game yet because it's not released in South America.
And see, because it's a failed version of Mew, my favorite theory on it is that Ditto will be catchable at Mew events.
Yeah, there's a theory that'll be an event Pokemon.
I really hope you don't have to do some insane traveling for events.
Me too.
Like, I'm praying for that.
Yeah, like I'm already like kind of bummed out that I know I'm probably gonna at least have to go to Kansas City for a legendary.
I'll have to go at
Dustin, you're
least
covering tonight
downtown.
for me.
Yeah, that's terribly
it's multiple days
unfortunate.
you're covering tonight at work.
Oh yeah, no, like if it's multiple days, you work, I'll
Yeah.
take your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we got. That's the thing. Hook each other
Well,
up.
and
if you
I
can.
feel like
Yeah.
they would have to do multiple days, you know? Because if they say, hey, you've got 2 hours for this
Yeah,
event.
we're screwed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Like,
like,
I can't-
it's
yeah,
like
screwed.
that- yeah, it's like
And
okay,
if
it's gonna
it's-
take me 2.5 to get there.
If it's major cities, what do they consider a major city?
Yeah, is Wichita.
If it's
That'd be
cities,
nice.
that could be Wichita.
Could be Pittsburgh.
Lawrence,
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, you know.
Pittsburgh, we could get there in 2 hours.
I mean, hey,
Yeah.
hey, technically we're a city.
yeah, you're right.
So
Sorry, humble.
Yeah.
You get nothing.
Get wrecked.
Another theory is that Ditto is hiding as a Pokemon. Because the first time you see him in the anime, he's a Pikachu. They can't say Pikachu.
Mm-hmm.
And, let's see,
He's a
in
Bulbasaur.
Pokemon Snap, he's a Bulbasaur.
Yeah.
That you have to throw Pester.
Mm.
What is it, Pester Balls?
Yep.
Something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then there's that ties into the Pester Ball theory. Click the menu, hold down on the button, and click the other buttons. You get the colors of the Pester Ball, which like somebody has thought that maybe that like if you're at a place like an event where maybe Mew would be, you do that, it unlocks the ball that is the menu as something you could throw.
Huh.
And then, like, maybe throw that at, some geological feature where Mew is hiding.
See, I've seen like some reading on that theory,
Okay?
and from what I can tell, people have like looked in the code, and it just does that because it has the option. You know, you can just swipe left, right, up, and on the pad, and it'll take you to that corresponding option.
Okay.
Which I have a
And
problem
when-
with.
And when it does
Doesn't work
that, it
half the time.
flashes.
Right.
Yeah, it does.
I didn't even
But
know
when
you
it
could
does
do
that, it flashes that color.
That's fine.
Okay. So it's just interesting they made them different colors.
Yeah.
Like, somebody at least, I don't know. Okay.
So it could be an Easter egg, but it looks like it's probably
Well, and to be
not.
fair, they say there are a lot of Easter eggs we haven't found yet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is surprising with all of the data mining that's going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Another theory is that Ditto's hiding in the background as some
Yep.
sort of geological feature. Another one is Ditto will be an event Pokemon like Mew.
Mm.
There are a lot of disabled ones, such as, or not disabled, a lot of disproven theories, such as holding on the Pokeball icon to bring up the menu allows you to drag your finger to the different icons and cause pulsing in different colors.
Yep.
That one has been disproven just by data mining. But honestly, my favorite's the South American.
I like that.
And it would be my favorite as long as you can still hatch them
Yeah,
out of
like
it.
as long as they
Like
add
the
it,
other exclusives.
Yeah, as long as they add it into the hatchable, then
I
that's
understand Ditto doesn't come from an egg, but this isn't the Game Boy.
You're
So,
right.
come on, let
fine.
me hatch
Well,
it.
there's also only one Mewtwo. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which, how cool would that be if there was only one and you got it?
Oh.
Raps it pretty well
I don't
over
think
that.
I don't think it'd be that cool considering you'd probably get shanked in that kind of puzzle.
Yeah.
What's your account?
Well, and I heard some people saying that they thought, I don't know if this was actually you, Dustin, saying that they heard a rumor that legendary events were going to be team based.
Yeah.
If
I
your
was the one that was
team
talking
beat
about
it, your team was the one that was able to catch that legendary.
that. Yeah.
I would be okay with that, but at the same time, I wouldn't. Because if
Poor team
everybody
instinct.
comes together to fight this thing, I think everyone should have the chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Granted, if that runs, that's going to be heartbreaking. It's like missing with a Master Ball. I
Yeah,
mean,
we'll
come
see,
on.
and that's one thing I've been wondering about for a long time is we know there's Master Balls in the game, we have no way to get them, which means you're probably going to get them at Legendary events. What happens when you fumble that throw?
Yeah. Oh, you're
gonna cry.
You're gonna, yeah, feel real bad about
You're
yourself.
gonna see a lot of people cry.
Yeah.
I have gotten less random curveballs since the patch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I do not, because I make literally the exact same motion 150 times an hour. I didn't mess it up that bad. Like, I know what I'm, like,
Well, and do berries actually affect it? Because that was always a theory, is if you used a berry, it would curve.
I never experienced that.
I would just get a lot of random glitch throws. I mean, because I would sit there and specifically test my swipe, and it would still just fly off to the side.
Say literally.
Have you ever had a curveball and you went to throw it and it went straight off screen?
Yeah.
But
But
yeah, like, really?
literally by day 2, I just got to the point I was tired of the random curves, so now
Curve
I just
everything.
only throw curves.
Well, and the sad thing is they've taken the experience away from curveballs,
It's
tennis
back in.
balls, great balls.
Back in.
Is it back
As
in?
of today, back in.
Okay,
Okay,
so
so it's the stealth patch.
so then
Yeah,
that
they,
was-
again, it's another stealth patch, but yeah.
So the question is, was that something?
And they stack again, too. You,
Okay.
you excellent
so they
throw,
actually
you
stack
excellent
now?
throw a curveball, 210 experience.
Oh,
Okay, cool.
See, I never had it
So
stacked
the
because I'd
que-
curve and it excellent, and I'd be like,
Okay, so the question
got the
is,
excellent.
was that removed? Like, was it just a bug that was gone, or did they remove that? See the response.
Well,
and
Niantic
realize-
didn't say anything, but I assume it was a
Yeah.
bug.
I
mean,
wish they would say something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really my only thing. Is like, I'm all for a ton of stealth patches, getting things done, but we need some form of communication.
Right,
Yeah.
I just wish every time they patch something, like, brief patch today, here's notes.
Yeah.
You know, you already downloaded it,
Like,
it was a
here's
stealth
5
patch
seconds
today.
to shoot you a Twitter message. This is what we did.
Yes.
All right, so the next thing we have to talk about is what's up. Not a lot, Mew. And this is Justin's.
Hey!
This is Justin's topic, so I'll let him take it.
Okay, so we've seen the data mining, and we've seen that Mew is not counted as a legendary. He's counted as a mythic, and I want to know what the fuck does that mean?
I have no idea.
Is because I believe a mythic is under a legendary, or is it over a legendary?
I think on the chart they put it under because
Yeah.
I think Lapras.
Yeah, I think
Is also
Lapras
in the
is
mythic.
Well, and that would make sense because Mewtwo is legendary.
Yeah.
And so if Mew evolved into a less, you know, like if Mew is rarer than Mewtwo, that makes 0 sense. Because, like, there has to be a Mew for there to be a Mewtwo, so.
What do you mean Mewtwo is a created thing? So
Yeah,
I see
that's
Mew
true.
ranking
Yeah,
higher.
it's not
And he
an
also
evolution,
wore
it's
some
it's
awesome
a weird
armor.
clone.
I mean, this is what
Okay.
we figured out in a messed up version of Bill's PC. I mean,
yeah.
Alright.
But yeah, and so what I wonder is it just not in the game yet? Have they just not set it to have a spawn rate yet? And eventually it will?
That'd be nuts. Randomly encounter a Mew.
Yeah, because
I mean-
like I, you know, they've obviously been fake, but I've seen some articles of people getting a Mew on incense, which makes me wonder, will that eventually?
Did
be
they have the
possible?
Photoshop ability?
I
Yeah.
saw that.
It's pretty OP, actually.
Yeah.
But it makes me wonder, will that eventually be a thing where like you have like a 1 in a million chance you'll have a Mew pop up on your incense?
I
Well,
hope so.
and here's the thing with legendaries
I
is,
pop into
are you
this
gonna
one.
get them, and they're gonna be maxed out, or are you gonna have to
Just get
those
more
candies?
money!
Are you
I
gonna
got a
have
10
to get-
CP Mew!
Yeah.
I'm
you
installing
Are you gonna have to get those candies?
This is
Because
my big
otherwise,
idea.
that's gonna be a pain.
I would like to think that if you catch a legendary, it comes with like 25 candies or something.
Something, yeah.
At the same time, 25 candies might not be enough to max power that thing.
Yeah.
But you know what, though? Like, I like gym battling right now because of the variety. I don't want, like, let's say there's a big legendary event, right?
I want to see
And
50 legendaries.
all of blue team gets an Articuno, and then all of yellow team gets a Zapdos, and now blue team is just boned because yellow team just shows up, oh, we all have a Zapdos, and you put your Articuno in the gym, and we just
I don't know.
run it over.
Finally,
Well,
reign over Valor.
I really hope that the
true.
birds aren't dependent on what team you're on. I would still like
Yeah.
to be able to
I wanna
a
get all of
Moltres.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd like
Right.
to get a Moltres and a Zapdos.
I want a
Which-
Bluebird.
On this topic, what is the legendary in the first gen that you desire most?
Celebi was always the big thing when I was a kid, but that's because I started with second gen.
That's second
Crystal.
gen.
In this
Yeah.
gen.
I know.
First gen. We're
First
talking
gen.
Zapdos, Articuno, Moltres,
I was never a fan of the birds,
and
honestly.
Mewtwo.
Well, I mean, okay, like does
Not
Mew
Mew.
count?
No.
Okay,
See,
Well, Mewtwo was always the final boss in the game.
yeah,
it's true.
That
so
you could catch.
for me, it's a tie between Mewtwo and Articuno because I mean Mewtwo's a badass. I like psychic types.
Yes.
And I don't know. I just always liked Articuno.
I always liked Mew and Articuno.
Articuno is one of the birds I want, but of course, given the
Yeah.
choice, I'd pick the most OP.
Well,
Yeah.
I would say Moltres, but if he's not on fire, it's a rubber chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely look at the birds in a cosmetic sense, so I definitely have to roll with Articuno.
Yeah, Articuno is definitely the most
I
aesthetically
mean, because they're all
pleasing.
extremely powerful and useful in their own sense, so at the end of it, it's really, okay, type, and then how pretty is it?
Yeah.
And Zapdos is ugly. He looks like a bunch of triangles.
Zapdos looks like you gave crack to a bird.
It's
Yes.
still prettier than the rubber chicken.
Yeah, we already discussed the rubber chicken.
All right, so we only have 2 more topics,
Okay.
so that Brad can get to dinner with
Yeah.
his family.
This is like an hour longer than our first episode.
Yeah,
Well, we had a big. I mean,
We had a lot
to talk about.
This was actually slightly organized.
Yeah, we had a lot to talk
Good
about.
thing it was organized, or we'd have been like
Everywhere.
real long.
Yeah.
All right, so upcoming features.
Okay.
Not that they've said a lot,
Yeah.
but they have announced some things that they plan on doing.
Okay.
There's the Pokemon Go Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know when that got delayed to? Because
I
as far as I
think-
know, it's just delayed.
I think it was delayed to November, but they didn't set a specific date.
Okay. And see, I would like that. I would like the vibrating to let me know when something's near. And I believe there's some functionality where you push the button and try and catch the Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like about the Pokemon Go Plus is it kind of is just a way for them to charge $30 instead of just adding background functionality.
Yeah, well, I've seen people saying, well, they've got the Pokemon Go Plus. Could this work with my Apple Watch?
I mean, one of the
Yeah.
big curiosities I
Right,
have
or
with
an
this
Android watch.
is, I mean, it's going to be stupidly convenient, for anything you're doing. I mean, I really don't want to see people doing it, but even the whole driving thing is, okay, just click it and go.
Yeah.
Because they're saying, it's supposed to flash and pulse depending on whether or not it's a Pokestop or a Pokemon.
I'm still slamming on my brakes.
The one
I mean,
concern I
don't
see, though-
play and drive.
That's right.
The one
Yeah.
concern I see with play, though, is, the Pokestop thing is going to be a big deal. Hit the button, bam, got it. Okay, well, hit the button and throw a Pokeball is something that you don't know what it is.
Well, and that's it.
Is there going to be a guaranteed catch on that, or am I going to potentially just be throwing Pokeballs for
Probably,
nothing?
yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
It's definitely not going to be guaranteed catch
You know,
because
I'm
then
not
all
gonna
I
have
would
any
do is
sort of
click it.
indication.
Or is it going to be like a touch to encounter?
Yeah, I think it should
And
just
then
be touch to encounter.
And then you'll be able to pull out your phone.
and
I like
then do
that.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
And also, I really want to be able to get one with a Team Mystic faceplate.
Yeah, I don't want
Yeah.
this to be a regular Pokemon.
Actually, I did find a third-party website that's already prepared and selling a
Yeah,
lot
Yeah,
of
I've
customized
seen some of the
faceplates.
faceplates for them.
I mean, so those would definitely be cool. Hopefully different bands, because the bands I'm seeing on them are just kind of
Yeah.
generic.
Yeah,
bands.
they're kind of like the paracord.
Yeah.
bracelets.
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I would have preferred to see something a little more, logo,
Yeah.
not just
A little,
some little colorful
also
band.
a little more. This is gonna sound weird. Adult.
yeah, because I don't want to have like a little...
you're gonna have adults wearing these. You're going to.
I don't know,
Oh,
because
I'm
I probably
cool
would
with
go
the
with a
logo
childish
thing.
one on
Yeah,
like a
like
Mewtwo band with a Team Mystic
Yeah.
faceplate.
Well, and I mean, I think you can also take them off the band and wear them as pins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they have a clip on them or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, like
Yeah.
a clip.
yeah, say,
Man, I
'cause-
just know like a lot of my jobs in the past, I would be getting a lot less work done if I had
Oh,
something
yeah.
like that.
I mean, it'd be cool if it worked as a pedometer also. So
Yeah.
maybe
Oh, yeah.
if you didn't have your phone near you, you could save up the steps
Well,
that you
they,
took.
actually, they've said they're not going to do pedometer just because of how easy it is to
yeah,
fake
it'd
a
be too
pedometer.
easy.
Yeah.
It'd be
Like,
way
yeah.
too easy
Well,
to just sit
it-
there hatch eggs.
Well, that's the thing is, I have a VivoFit though.
Okay.
I can't fake that.
Right,
Yeah.
but it actually tracks your
Yeah.
like it on its map. It maps your path as opposed to just like.
Oh well, no, mine doesn't hook
Oh,
up
really?
to GPS. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's just I can't fake it by shaking it.
And I suppose another concern to have with the little wrist strap is, okay, this is going to have to be Bluetooth to your phone at all times. Are they going to allow Pokemon to run in the background to an extent in order to make sure this works?
You would have to.
Right now, we're sitting here, they just took away Apple's power saving mode. Android's power saving mode sometimes
it's kind of
pretty buggy.
It's I can put my phone in my pocket, it's going to go power save, but I could pull it back out, and it's frozen, and I'm not going to have anything.
See, and I'm afraid to use it because I've heard people say it'll bug out their eggs.
You don't get credit for your eggs when you're in power saver mode. It just straight up does not do eggs.
Yeah, so I mean, they'd have to set that up so if you were using the wash, that would give you some egg miles, because otherwise nobody's going to want to use it. I mean, we're wasting one of the most important parts of the game at the moment.
Yeah, but yeah, so I brought up the some kind of Safari Zone or Safari Lures or something like that. I really want to see that as one of the things, because I know they've talked about having stops, different modules in the game, and I would like one of those to be a Safari module.
Yeah. Well, they have talked about changing the functionality of gyms and Pokestops. My thing is that going to be item producing? You know, like, hey, here's a module that you have a better chance to get Great Balls and Ultra Balls or something like that. Or is it going to be... I would like to see type-specific lures. You have a fire lure that gives you a better chance of getting fire types.
Yeah, that's another one.
Maybe not a guarantee, but, you know, maybe...
Well, I mean, in the games we had a whole bunch of different types of incense that were everything from attracting Pokemon to, say, you give your Snorlax, Lax incense, you get your Munchlax. Base the lures off of, say, the old-school incense, and then that'll set up what kind you're more likely to attract.
Yeah.
I would also like to see repels.
Yeah.
Mainly for Pidgeys and Rattatas.
I don't even care about CP repels.
I think they took away, or they changed nests. Now they need to make it so that the whole world isn't a Pidgey nest.
But you gotta level up somehow.
Talk about it, Pidgey.
I believe they did say
hilarious.
they were going to add Poke-Centers, though.
Yeah,
that's coming out soon.
And I'm not sure if that's going to be, like, new locations, or if they're just going to, like, hijack Pokestops.
I think it might just be a potion saver. Or maybe they might send... I don't know, maybe they'll try and start with that as the central trading hub and stuff like that. Because, I mean, back in the day, of course, Poke-Centers was where you did all your business. Maybe that'll be something they use to roll in a few other features.
Yeah, I mean, there's supposed to be trading in the game.
Yeah.
There's supposed to be peer-to-peer battles.
I'm looking.
They could be fake images, but I mean, I've seen images where there's additional bubbles for selecting those options, and then images of two trainers appearing on the map and popping up a request bubble for a battle.
And I mean, I think that would be great.
Yeah.
Some of the funnest times I've had is Duster and I will make type-specific teams.
Yeah.
We won't tell each other what the type is. We'll say, all right, we're going to do a gym battle.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean,
and we'll go against each other.
And in the aspect of battles, I mean, I don't want to see an indication for every player on my map, because that's going to run into a whole lot of potentially serious issues.
Well, yeah, you've already had...
If I could just see somebody walk up to them and go, hey, want a battle? Right there, I'd be perfectly happy. Because if anything, that just kind of falls into being a trainer more so. Because I see you.
And I mean, even a way they could do it without cluttering the list is just have like a little drop-down option. You drop that down, it shows you all the players in your area. You can select trade battle.
And once you have that too, you can send them a message.
Yeah.
I mean, it would not be hard to enter.
Well, and I mean, friends list.
Yep, that's right.
Oh yeah. I mean, and just make anybody within your radar's vicinity, accessible.
Yeah.
I mean, at least that way it kind of keeps it under control.
Yeah, because one I'm looking forward to a lot is peer-to-peer battles, because I think that would make for some great, like,
definitely have an option to turn off requests, though, because that could become an issue.
Oh, yeah.
Well, because you get gold spammers.
Yeah.
I mean, like the equivalent of gold spammers anyway.
Yeah.
Like somebody who'd be like, give me your account, I'll farm for you.
A ton of trolls and stuff.
Yeah.
One thing I would like to see are daycare centers.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I believe
I'd happily walk even further for a day.
With breeding. Say if it's, you've got to walk 2 to 5 kilometers to get an egg. Okay, at least it's a guaranteed egg for this type. With that, I think they would have to nerf evolutions, possibly make it require more candy, because you get more candy out of an egg.
Yeah,
which
true.
Which,
you have to walk for it, but you still get more.
Here's the thing, though, because I don't think you would get, like, that much of a boost, because if you've got to walk 5K to get the egg and then another 5K to hatch it, it's not like you're
if I can breed Magikarp and I get 21 candies out of a Magikarp egg.
I have.
Perfect.
My first Magikarp was out of an egg. it gave me 21 candies. 21 plus
Well, you hit the
candies.
jackpot.
Yeah,
then.
you hit the
Yeah.
jackpot thing because I usually get 5.
Yeah.
I had
I
a
mean-
friend who got a Scyther. He got 31 candies
Well,
with a 9.
You
That-
get
that was a
10
10
KA.
KA.
You get. I've got
Yeah.
40 some Ks.
Yeah.
I mean, it would definitely make sense to have to nerf that a little bit to balance it out. I mean,
But
so
you're
you get
still
a lot
gonna
of
get
candy
more.
out of your eggs.
Yeah, you're still
and
gonna
if
get
it's
more.
and if it's rare Pokemon for your area, like Magikarp,
Yeah.
then you're gonna need
But
all
that
that
also makes
candies
me
for
look at the team aspects because, I mean, there's still the rumor circulating that eventually each team is going to have its own type of buff. I mean, like with Mystic, we get the evolution buff.
Mhm.
I mean, because I kind of hinted at it with each
Yeah, when
color's
you- yeah.
sales pitch.
Which, like, I gotta say, we picked the best team, I think. As far as the buff goes. Like, okay, I'll take the evolution
I mean,
buff.
if it's anything to be taken any way seriously, we did get the best buff because to me, evolution levels are the most important thing.
Yeah.
I mean, for us, it's the our stuff doesn't cost as much. I'm pretty sure.
Well, I'll tell you, related to that, the thing I was talking about with leveling up gyms earlier, I didn't ever use a Bellsprout to fight a gym before today.
Yeah.
I was thrilled
Yeah.
to death that I had a Bellsprout. I was like, okay, I need a grass type, but I was like, Bellsprout.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember in the show when Bellsprout was a badass for a little bit, and I felt like I was living that episode
Yeah.
out a little bit.
Yeah.
Right?
And so,
And that's
yeah.
the magic of this game is that
Yes.
we have people like us, I mean, adults, people that are wasting their lives away in the rat race, and we're feeling like little kids again.
Yeah.
exactly.
Because I just spent months depressed about the world and the political outcome of
Oh,
it.
no.
Oh my
like,
god, no.
Pokemon, I don't
Thi-
care.
This game has been the best remedy for the
I have the
political
Trump
landscape.
lures.
The what?
I have the best lures. My lures are excellent.
Yeah, he has
Yeah, oh yeah,
lures.
I have all the best lures. My lure, literally the best lures. I can't think of a better word for best right now, even though I have the best ones.
Just know that I have the best.
My
lures.
wife has
You
the
can
best
bet on that.
speeches. She's stolen from the other woman who gives good speeches.
Well,
this got political. It's not
this
this podcast. Cut
this
that.
game's gotten people out of their houses.
Yeah.
It's already been helping people with mental issues
Yeah.
and depression.
That's one that was a massive thing for me. There's
Yeah.
autistic kids that are playing. And I mean, one of the reasons I stay in my house
To be
is
fair,
with my issues,
an
I don't do
autistic
good with
kid-
people.
Yeah.
I'm getting along with people
Yeah,
suddenly.
yeah, it's definitely
To be
helped me
fair,
with, like,
it's
social
got some
anxiety.
negatives.
Yeah.
It's got some negatives, like, and that's not the game's fault. Like,
That's people.
in
Yeah.
Tempe Town, it's a park in Arizona. An autistic kid got attacked and squirted with barbecue sauce. As a couple of college kids said, "I got the retard. I got the retard." That's not the game's
Assholes
fault.
are
That's
assholes.
that's
Yeah.
people. Assholes are
messed
going to be
up.
assholes, and you can't blame the game. But that kid got out of the house. I mean, he got attacked.
Yeah.
He got out of the house. You know, I mean, I've seen posts saying that senior centers are using it to keep their seniors active.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and I've actually seen a number of fairly elderly people getting out and playing this game, socializing with the kids.
My dad.
They don't know
plays
what
this
they're doing. They call Krabby Gary,
Yeah.
but they're playing.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
like,
my
they're having
dad
fun.
calls the duo the double-headed dildo.
like, you know what?
Yeah, he
Let's
really
not forget
does.
about Big Dick B, guys.
Big
Dick
Dick
Bee.
Me.
Onion turtle.
Onion Turtle's my favorite.
That's four.
Don't forget Pikachu.
That's
Well,
one.
and,
That's
like,
Pikachu,
thought
of
that they
course.
were-
the thing is, when an airplane crashes, it makes the news. But 100 million people fly on an airplane every day, and it's great.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah,
like,
airplanes are the fucking best.
yeah, and like so, yeah. When the autistic kid gets squirted with barbecue
Yeah.
sauce, that's what the news story is about. Because
Yeah.
here's a boring news story: autistic kid played Pokemon Go, then went home and had dinner.
Yeah.
That story sucks.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, how many people have found dead bodies? Two now?
I've only heard of the one, but
All right, I've heard of two.
Okay, so we're up to
Okay.
two.
And the news makes those negative.
Oh right,
And
yeah.
I'm like,
Like they died
no one
because of
would have
Pokemon.
found
Yeah,
that.
the
other-
detectives didn't find
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
body. Like Susie did. I'm sorry, Susie
Yeah.
got to see a dead
I mean,
body,
seriously,
but
you
like,
want to find somebody? Tell everybody there's a Charizard out there.
Yeah.
They'll
Yeah.
comb everything.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as that's kind of a bad joke, still.
No, I was at the park. Someone yelled Charizard.
Oh,
I've never seen so many heads fly up at one time.
Like just phones go up.
Luckily,
heads
right
snap.
afterwards, he heard his friend say, "Dude, you cannot do that."
Yeah.
So, it was fake, but still.
yeah, that's definitely the new fire in a crowded theater.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I mean, there are things you cannot do, and that's one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, and a lot of this just comes down to etiquette, common sense, respect.
Well, I mean,
I mean, and the only
yeah.
the only reason we're getting a bad name is we just have a handful of people that want to be assholes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, and the sad thing is, it has come down to special needs people being attacked. To we've had people in our own town threatening to beat up other people over the freaking
and,
team
and, and,
difference.
and don't forget throwing rocks at people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But at the
If
same
somebody
time,
threw a rock at me,
they
like,
threw a rock at Ricardo's vehicle.
I would.
Yeah.
Ooh, see, if I'm Ricardo, I slam on my brakes, and I'm like, Who are you? I at least identify them. You know what I mean? And
Ricardo
then I
took
drive
some
on.
expensive.
Like,
He didn't assault the
I'm
kid.
not going
Ricardo
to.
just chased him down and questioned him. And it was just some kid, so Ricardo couldn't do nothing.
Red Team's presence is not as strong around here lately.
Yeah, I've been noticing that.
Yep.
I would say it's mostly Baco and Ricardo that have been running a lot.
Right.
Everybody else is kind of slacking, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
This is the only names I see pop up a lot anymore.
Yeah.
Good news wise in this town, I mean, Pokemon Go players have cleaned up Highland.
Yeah.
You know, they've cleaned up the area that they've been playing in.
Well, and I've seen a lot of things on the news from Facebook articles televised about, people just trashing places through Pokemon Go. So I'm actually kind of proud of everybody for hopping on that.
Pokemon Go players in Wichita cleaned up downtown Wichita.
There you go.
Well, I mean, I've seen a lot of different towns just organizing events for the heck of it. Like, hey guys, let's just go play Pokemon and clean, do something for the community.
The Kansas City, what's the soccer team in Kansas City called? The Sporting KC.
Mm-hmm.
They did an event where they put flyers all over the city, and they're like, you come to Sporting Park, and the players walked you around that area, and you caught Pokemon. And like, it was a big PR deal for them,
Heck yeah.
but people got to play Pokemon.
Yeah.
Nice.
Servers went down that day, so that's a little.
I mean, I'm honestly kind of surprised that, there's not as many businesses taking advantage of this as, you would think.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many people out. I mean, for example, we had the Chanute Art Gallery here. They're, all volunteer work, run off of grants and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But the more names they get in their
That's
guest
right.
book, the more they get. So just all the Pokemon players step in, get a drink, cool off for a second, sign your name, we're happy.
Yeah. And then their grant will be significant.
Well, and I mean, there were places in Phoenix that were like, blue team players get 10% off.
Yeah.
Mm.
There was a Chinese restaurant that was right by a stop that was throwing down lures, and you got a discount if you were blue team. All the other teams got like free egg rolls or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of them been cycling the teams.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We were on the plaza in Kansas City, and it was like 9:45 or something, and I was like, I'm kind of hungry, I want a snack. There's a cheesecake factory there, and I told my girlfriend, I was like, let's share a piece of cheesecake, like, that'd be awesome. And when we go in there, the place is packed. It's a Tuesday night, And I asked the chick working there, I was like, have you guys been, like, really busy for, like, a week? And she's like, it's terrible. And I was like, I'm sorry.
I'm a part of that cost.
Yeah. Like, you don't get paid more. I understand why you hate that. But some dude in an office loves this.
Yeah.
Like, Oh.
I gotta start taking care of the employees. It's like, all right, you're tolerating this many trainers, here you go.
Yeah.
Oh, like the security guards downtown? What, at like 2 in the morning, what did they do before? Like, yo, drunk guy, go back to your hotel.
Well, Phoenix police have actually, there have been a couple of videos I've seen, and they're 2 different patrol cars driving around areas with Pokemon Go players, blasting the theme song.
Happened in Kansas City, too. Yeah,
That's great.
Saw it.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I've heard people getting out of tickets because they were like, oh, you play Pokemon Go? And he's like, yeah, I'm Team Instinct. And the cop was like, hey, me too. And they talked about their Pokemon, and he was like, all right, you get a warning.
You get out of here.
See, I gotta feel like cops have to be Team Blue, man, right?
I would
Like,
think
it only
they're
makes
blue.
sense.
Well, no, it's hilarious. I mean, granted, we got a couple cops out of the gate, and then I knew, like, I'm friends with a number of the cops in town, and I knew a couple of them were all up on that man card thing. But no, like, oh, if you play Pokemon Go, turn in your man card, and they were giving everybody crap on their patrols and everything.
Yeah.
And then I turned around on Facebook the other day and saw all of them. Hey guys, there's this over here.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I knew you'd come eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I really did enjoy that the first time I saw the cops actually out playing with
Yes.
the rest of the people. I mean, because that's definitely something that could have been a potential issue to begin with, especially in this town. And on
Well,
our
I mean,
side of it.
Ingress had people questioned by the police because they
People
were
thought they
acting
were hacking.
suspicious and stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's good that
I mean,
this
and the same
hasn't
issues have
happened.
popped up again.
Which I'm pleasantly surprised that I haven't had that issue, because I have expected, like, standing in front of someone's house, they come out, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm just catching Pokemon.
We had
dude,
somebody
don't
the other
worry."
night. We had somebody the other night yell, "There's no Pokemon here." Yeah, there is.
Right there. It's Pidgey right in front of you, dude.
We're in the street. Like, we're not. It's like it says, "Don't trespass." But like, if you stand in the street,
I
there's
think
nothing
they-
can
I
do
think
about
Stay
it.
on the
need to-
street or the sidewalk.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah,
need to
stay
go
on
into
the
Don't
Pokemon.
drive on the sidewalk.
No.
please.
No.
Yeah.
But-
I think they need to increase the radius just a little bit of your scan.
Yeah,
ring.
well, I mean, they
Okay.
decreased it, which means you
Well-
have to get closer.
Yeah.
So
Shrinking
that's
it
a
was
bummer.
definitely not a good idea.
Well, but they decrease what that does do though.
Was it the ring or just the tracking that?
I think they decreased it. I think they did both.
Wasn't it something along the lines of around? I don't know. I saw
It-
less than 49% posted
Well,
somewhere.
the nearby used to be 200 meters,
Mm.
and then it got decreased to 100 meters, and now I think it's 70 meters.
It's 49%, but it's not as simple as like 51 less, because the way circle radius
the
math works.
I definitely don't
radius.
want to walk 10 blocks for the sake of finding 2 different Pokemon, but I don't know. Like, I feel like sucking everything in too close is going to kind of ruin the expect too.
Yeah.
But like, okay, so here, like, what do you think about this? You would be a better, like, okay, let's say you're hunting your neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
You are eventually going to find every spawn point in your neighborhood, which, that makes sense.
Yes, I
You're-
already know where 2 or 3 of them are.
like
around here.
you're going to be like if you're from Minnesota and you want to hunt things that live in Minnesota, you're going to be better at that than somebody from Southern California who's like for a day decides they want to come hunt Minnesota. And so I don't hate the idea of like I don't completely hate the idea anyway of if you have a hunting ground that's your hunting ground, eventually you're just going to know it, and like that's fine.
Well, and
it's your spot.
I think the
Like,
only problem I have is static spawn points. I like them and I hate them.
sure.
Because you know what's going to be there. I think they should kind of rotate in and out. Like, all right, well, it's nighttime. This one's here.
Right, I agree with that. But,
And I mean,
it's
there
not
are spots like-
static spawn doesn't mean Pidgey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It means static spawn like 60%
Yeah.
Pidgey, 20% rat.
Yeah, so like that's one nice thing. Whenever something like good when we're at the college comes up on the nearby, there we know there's pretty much 3
It's
stocks.
it's going to be there, or over by the clock.
Yeah. And I mean, there are a couple spots like that are like before 8 o'clock you're going to find them, and after 8 p.m. you're going to find them. And there's like the window where you have to be there at the right time.
One thing I kind of have to laugh about that came to mind is, I mean, granted, we're seeing 5 million Pidgeys. It's sicking everybody off. I'm thinking back to the days with handhelds and everything. There were still 5 million Pidgeys. It's just the fact that I have to move for it now.
Yeah.
I mean, I really haven't had anything change with
Well-
what I'm seeing. I just have to move now.
And I hate hearing it pop up, and you're like, oh, what is it?
Pidgey.
Oh, it's a Pidgey.
You know,
2K
That's
catch.
the Pidgey call now.
I feel it's even worse when it's a rat attack because at least a Pidgey, it's like, all right, that's contributing towards my next
I get-
level up.
Yeah.
A Pidgey's essentially 380 experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like-
Rattatas were sort of useful in the beginning for the evolution thing, but at 25 candies,
Yeah,
it's just not
25
worth it.
candy is just
Even
not
the
worth it.
start-
Every time I
I-
pop an egg, I get like
Well,
maybe
I
8
see
to
a
10 rat
Rattata, and I
attack.
almost can't justify the Stardust
And
anymore.
last
I'm just so tired of it.
time I did an evolution, I saved up candies for like 4 or 5 days, and I actually did 2 lucky eggs in a row.
Ooh, nice.
I got did about 100,000 XP's worth.
And I'll say, Rattatas, they're not as worth it. I'll still save the candy.
Yeah,
spawn,
I'll still
but-
save the candy, but like when I did that, like out of that, I evolved probably 60 Pidgey, and probably only like I think 14 Rattata.
Still 14,000 experience.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
14,000 experience, but that was saving up for 5 days.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, I'll do it for my I'll throw Gladiator Pidgeys. Gladiator Raticates are better than Gladiator Pidgeys.
They
You did
are.
a
Like
nice
Hyper Beam.
Beam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll clear out
That's
some
why I
gyms.
have.
By the way, since when did Raticate learn Hyper Beam?
Well, since the 5th of this
Yeah.
month.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a normal move.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, I was happy as hell. I was like, alright, I can't do anything. Hyper Beam!
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, dude, I'm so glad that Solar and Hyper
Back at
Beam
the
got
gyms.
buffs.
Solar Beam is so awesome.
Oh
Though.
yeah, it is. It's great for taking out a gym. Now.
What's the 150 damage move now? Like, what's the one that does ridiculous damage? I don't remember. I know I know
Do
Solar.
we have any
Did-
curved
didn't-
first gen attacks to go
I forgot.
for?
Was Thunder 150 or is it 50?
Thunder's 100,
Okay, Thunder's 100.
Yeah, it's like that.
but that's up from like 35.
Yeah.
So,
Thunder was freaking nerfed out the gate.
yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah,
That's
electric
supposed to
type.
be the freaking electric attack.
Well, yeah, and electric types and fire types were terrible at the start.
Yeah, well, that's what ticked me off. Is a lot of the time I'd find myself needing a fire type, and Flareon was a paperweight.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's no lie. Earthquake is 100.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's kind of crappy. You know, you got anywhere from a 13 to a 1700 CP Pokemon, and it's not worth anything.
Yeah. One thing that I think is kind of negative about the gym balancing, although it's very outweighed by the positives, and it's obvious you're supposed to train it up with more people.
Yeah.
But only being able to train with one Pokemon is a lot harder when that one Pokemon can't just be an OP Vaporeon.
And
Yeah.
but like that's what I was saying. Yeah, OP Vaporeon could clear a gym and you get 400. You can beat it with one little bitty 400 Rattata and you get 1,000.
Yeah.
Blizzard.
sorry.
Blizzard is also a 100 move now.
Okay.
Nice. So unfortunately, my Pokédex isn't as expansive, so I'm not as aware of all the moves and their stats.
Solar Beam.
Look at
All right. So I think we pretty much covered everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, we definitely did a heck of a lot better this time.
Yeah.
I tried not to rant too much.
All right, so just do some quick housekeeping real fast. The YouTube channel, the schedule I put up last Monday is no longer the schedule. I'm not going to be doing videos anymore. Instead, probably going to be doing about 2 or 3 podcasts a week. I'll be putting them up on the Trainer Association page. No real schedule, just whenever we can get around to them. And does anybody need to say anything else?
I think we pretty much covered the majority of it this time.
Hopefully we have an update on the 6th.
Yeah,
We'll talk about.
Yeah,
hopefully there's an update on the 6th.
Hopefully next time we're talking about how good this next patch was.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, I'm really not even sure what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
Tracking.
I mean,
Tracking.
Definitely tracking.
I was wrong. Hyper Beam 120 damage, not 150.
Okay, so Earthquake and Fire Blast are 100.
Yep.
Nice.
Hyper Beam, Solar Beam 120.
Yeah, tracking and
Those might be the max
somebody at
moves right now.
Niantic
Yeah, I
to
think
learn
you're
how
right.
to use Twitter.
Yes.
They are. Those are the max moves.
Okay.
I just looked at the list.
But I mean, like a 922 Raticate with Quick Attack and Hyper Beam.
That's going to load up pretty quick.
Yeah, especially since, like, if you have something that is, like, if you fight at 1200, if you're trying to power up a gym, this dude could beat a 1200.
And I'm happy to
control.
see that, I mean, granted, not every Pokemon can get insane CP numbers. It's just not going to happen. I'm glad that the Pokemon like Raticate that can't get that high are still valuable.
They're now useful.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what
well,
I
I
like.
mean, like, it's there. It can still be done. It can
And
do
just
something.
just looking through that list, though, it appears like IV-wise, Vaporeon probably got a debuff. But it looks like attack-wise, everything else just became more powerful.
Correct.
Yeah.
Not that they necessarily nerfed
Yeah,
it.
they
It just
didn't
everything else.
They
became
didn't
more
necessarily nerf Vaporeon into the ground. They just made everything on par with it.
Right, which I like
Yeah.
that approach better than
Yeah.
just making everything. Like, you either can, like, raise stuff up, or you can just start making everything 1 and
Yeah.
2.
Yes.
Well, I
like-
mean, there was a glue factory by Highland, Yellow Gym,
I see what you did there.
and honestly, I was kind of like about to be like, "Hey, Dustin, why don't we go take this?" And then I looked at it. It's a well-balanced gym. They've got a fire type, a water type.
Yep.
You know, they've got an Executor as the top one.
Who might be one of the most
Yeah.
OP Pokemon in
Oh,
the
yeah.
game right
Yeah.
now.
Oh yeah.
So-
for
Which
sure.
one?
Executor.
Look at this guy.
My Executor's worth something?
Yeah. Say I managed.
No,
to
that's been
hold,
my only OP Pokemon is my Executor, and I couldn't use it for so long.
I managed to hold a gym in Wichita for almost a full day with
Yep,
an
I
Executor
remember
on
that.
there.
Even before the buffs and everything, though, my Executor was the only thing I had that could stand up against a couple Vaporeons
Yeah.
before
Sure.
dropping.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the only thing.
Because
I could
he's
take it
grass.
down.
He's grass type, so I mean, he always
He's got
has
some
that.
defense.
Yeah. Well, I got a 2361 Executor, 141 HP, Zen Headbutt, Solar Beam. That dude sits there and
Nice.
eats other
Yep.
Pokemon for dinner.
Yeah. He's a
Which he
good
should. He
buster.
just, he should be a strong Pokemon.
Definitely did not like getting Seed Bomb, though.
Oh, that
Yeah.
feels bad.
Look at that.
Okay, my
the
Raticate will take care of this.
I'm huge. The Pidgey's really small.
That's interesting. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this up.
All right.
All right, so we've got everything out of the way. Like I said, next episode sometime next week, and I think that's it. So
Cool.
thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and go catch them all.
Later.